Talk about that later. Now it's time for Rick Tittle and Titillating Sports on Sports Byline USA. All right, thank you. Woo! All right, thank you. Hold on a second. I always wonder what goes on in a studio where everything is just whack. How deaf is somebody that the volume is all the way up? I used to get accused of that sometimes, that I had the volume too high. But anyway, it's not my studio. Only produce 3 hours. It's live radio. Obviously, that would have been edited out. Rick with you on a Thursday. Nice to have you with us here on Sports Byline USA. We're coast to coast. We're border to border. We're around the world on the American Forces Radio Network. And if you're in our military, you're doing a great job. Stay safe. Come home soon. Keep up the good work. We also stream on sportsbyline.com. You can go there, click Listen Live, and any emails, rick@sportsbyline.com would be the number to call. rick@sportsbyline.com would be the email address. Call is 1-800-878-PLAY, 1-800-878-7529. Got some guests. When do we not? We have we'll start off with some open lines. Talk a little Olympics. How about Canada? They're playing right now, hockey. Who scored their first goal of the whole Olympics? Macklin Celebrini. Our guy. That's right, our guy. The kid from the Bay, at least professionally, and his dad. All right, Gigi Berardi will join us. Ken Henderson will join us. Keith Zlomsowitch will join us. And Alex Cox, the Hollywood director, will join us in studio at 10 Pacific. He directed Repo Man, of course, Harry Dean Stanton and Emilio Estevez, Sid and Nancy, the great Gary Oldman. Come on back.
Straight Talk Wireless presents Pickup Truck Wisdom.
If you're only good to your new friends, you're not going to have any old ones. Straight Talk gets it. That's why new and existing customers get free 5G phones on Verizon's 5G network. Pretty simple, really. You keep good people by being good people.
Find us at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Straight Talk Wireless. Straightforward. Always. Taxes and fees apply. Plan purchase required for free phone offers. Copyright 2026 Verizon.
It's more than a rebellion. When your teen is slipping into drugs or alcohol, when social media and pornography consume their time and their mind, when depression and even suicidal thoughts cast a shadow over your home, as a parent, you feel powerless. There is hope. At Turnabout Ranch, troubled teens step away from the chaos and into a clarity of nature on a working cattle ranch. Care for horses, learn responsibility, build trust, and rediscover purpose. It isn't theory, it's real work. Real therapy, real healing. Families from across the country have found transformation right here, just when they thought hope was gone. If your teen is struggling with addiction, harmful online behaviors, even weight management, call right now and get the help you all need.
800-219-2494, 800-219-2494, 800-219-2494. That's 800-219-2494.
Have you suffered sports betting losses? There is someone who wants to fight for you to see you get back what you have lost to those sports betting companies. Michael Watts is a prolific trial lawyer with over $11 billion in total recoveries for his clients. And now with SportsBettingClaim.com, he'd like to help you. Michael has been a leader in some of the largest and most complex cases in the country, from defective cars and tires to damaging drugs and medical products. He has always represented the rights of individuals harmed by large corporations. His efforts recently resulted in the recovery of billions for individuals who lost properties to fires carelessly caused by electric companies and others. Michael knows that sports betting companies preyed on and manipulated consumers into losing their life savings, and he wants to make them pay. If you have suffered financial hardship as a result of online sports betting and would like help seeking compensation, please submit your claim information for evaluation at sportsbettingclaim.com. Michael Watts is focused on winning for you. sportsbettingclaim.com.
Welcome to guided meditation. Close your eyes. You're at the beach. The seagulls are calling. You take out out your iPhone 16e you got from Cricket and use Apple Intelligence to clean up that selfie you just took. It's a good one. You send it to your friends instantly thanks to reliable nationwide 5G. They're totally jealous. Get iPhone 16e for $49.99 when you switch. Smile, you're on Cricket.
Requires new line on the Supreme Unlimited plan. First service charge and tax due at sale. $25 activation fee. Terms and restrictions apply. Cricket 5G is not available everywhere. See store for details.
Titillating Sports with Rick Tittle. Rick Tittle is a genius, the best show ever. He's so wonderful, genius, the best show ever. He's so wonderful. Titillating Sports with Rick Tittle. Rick Tittle he's so handsome. He's a genius.
You're now listening to the Rick Tittle Show. Good for you.
Thanks for that. Welcome back to the program. Rick Tittle with you, coast to coast and around the world on the American Forces Radio Network. Team USA, by the way, getting ready to go as well with the hockey today. But I just want to start off with some controversy. At the Olympics, there's always something. And I don't just mean the Lindsey Vonn, that wasn't so much a controversy outside of she had been competing, and if she said she could go, let her go. I don't have a problem with that, and neither does she. The guy who said, I'm sorry to my girlfriend, that was another thing, but I guess the biggest thing right now is the fact that the IOC has banned officially Ukraine's Vladislav Harashkevich. Vladislav Harashkevich. He was the flag bearer at the opening ceremony for Ukraine and competing in the men's skeleton while wearing a special helmet featuring artwork depicting Ukrainian athletes who were killed during the Russian invasion. The IOC said this contravened the Olympic Charter, the rules and bylaws, and informed him that he would not be able to compete wearing the helmet. And so there were discussions. He said, I'm not going to back down. And they said, well, if you wear it, then we're going to have to disqualify you. And he said, okay, well, I'm going to wear it anyway. So he wore the helmet on all the training runs before the competition, carried it through the media mix zones and multiple interviews, and they said don't wear it in the official competition. So the rule 40.2 of the Olympic Charter, quote, all competitors, team officials, or other team personnel in the Olympic Games shall enjoy freedom of expression in keeping with the Olympic values and the fundamental principles of Olympism. It's a good word. And in accordance with the guidelines determined by the IOC Executive Board, end quote. So there are athlete expressions guidelines, which they updated just in 2023. It states the focus at the Olympic Games must remain on athlete performances and the harmony that the Games seek to advance. It is a fundamental principle that sport at the Olympic Games is neutral and must be separate from political, religious, or any other type of interference. Specifically, the focus on the field of play during competitions and official ceremonies must be on celebrating athletes' performances. Well, you don't have to go back too far to Mexico City with two San Jose State athletes, and Tommy Smith and John Carlos with the Black Pride holding up the fists with the black gloves on them. There's been all sorts of political expression. When I was a kid and Billy Martin came back to the A's, he wore a crucifix on his A's hat. It was right above the A's logo. It was a silver crucifix. Nobody told him to take it off. And then, of course, you get into the 85 Bears and McMahon wearing, hey, Pete, little messages to Pete Rozelle, like goading. There's always been people who want to do a little bit of expression. I wore Raider sweatbands when I played college football, and I was told by a ref in the middle of a game, take those off or it's a 15-yard penalty. And that's the last thing I wanted. I took them off and I put them right back on. They were for me. Stupid kid. Yeah. But they said if the rules are broken at the Olympics, disciplinary proceedings may ensue. And so the IASC said that all the changes were agreed after consulting with 4,500 athletes worldwide about the focus on the field of play. Now, the initial erroneously claimed that was Rule 50. Rule 50 says no kind of demonstration of political, religious, or racial propaganda is permitted. But the IOC, the president of the IOC is Christy Coventry, which is a great name. That sounds like the cute girl in your 8th grade class. Who'd you have a crush on? Oh my gosh, Kirsty Coventry for sure. But Kirsty Coventry visited Heraskovich and his father at 7:30 in the morning of the competition and made a last gasp plea, don't wear the helmet, our hands are tied. She said, no one is disagreeing with the messaging. The messaging is a powerful message of resemblance. It is a message of memory, and no one is disagreeing with that. What I proposed to him this morning and to his dad, because he also said when he goes down, it's blurry, you can't see it. So I said, could we find a solution where we pay homage to his message, to his helmet before he races, and then as soon as he's finished racing, going into the mix zone, then you can put it on and you can see the pictures. And he refused. And sadly, we have not been able to come to that solution. I really wanted to see him race today. It's been an emotional morning. And Coventry was teary-eyed. She was teary-eyed. And she's a former Olympian herself. She won 2 gold medals swimming for Zimbabwe. So the IOC have reinstated Heraskovich's accreditation, which means he can stay in the Olympic Village. They didn't kick him out of the Olympics. But it was a very tense media conference this morning in Milano, and the IOC spokesman, Mark Adams, defended his ban. He said, if we allow people to commemorate those killed in war, it would open the games to exploitation. He said, quote, those are according to the Red Cross, 130 conflicts going on at any one time. We can't have them all in competition with each other at the games. The field of play could become a field of expression. You could see it would lead to chaos. We cannot have the athletes put pressure on them by political masters to make expressions during competitions. We do our best to create a level playing field. I make no apologies for that. And then someone said, well, you're probably pressured by Russia. And Adam said, absolutely not pressured by Russia. So the 2-time Olympic gold medal medalist in the skeleton, Lizzie Yarnold from Team GB, she said, I think it's actually quite shocking. With the sliding confusion, there is shock and confusing. Wearing this helmet was a reaction to something that was an active memorial and incredibly emotional and important to him. I think the IOC owe him an apology, and this was the wrong decision. Bobsledder John Jackson of GB, who was a Royal Marine Commando, he said his approach to that is about remembering who has fallen. I supported him in what he was trying to achieve. So Heraskovich said, yesterday and before yesterday I was training good. I could be among the medalists for this event, but suddenly, because of some interpretation of the rules that I do not agree with, I am not able to compete. Expression guidelines, what do you consider an expression? Many others here have helmets of different colors, which are also expressions. Others have national symbols that are expressions. Those helmets are not checked. So we can go on, and I tend to lean towards what Coventry was saying. We don't disagree with you. We don't want this just to turn into look at the people that I'm honoring type of thing. But even if you think it is stupid, it is a rule. And I read Andre Agassi's book, Open, which is an amazing autobiography where he says, I'm a high school dropout. And he just starts off with that. I'm a high school dropout. But he didn't go to Wimbledon for a couple years because they said you had to wear all white. And he's like, screw you. He goes, who got hurt? You think Wimbledon got hurt? He goes, I hurt myself. I'm so stupid. So to train your whole life for this and then to say, can you just not wear it on the way down? No. And some people say, good, I'm glad you died on that hill. Good for you. I think it's a shame. I think he could have shown it in the mix zone. He could have shown all the pictures, and then everybody would have been happy. But that was his decision. It's not the IOC's fault. It is the athletes. It's the athletes' fault, in my opinion. All right, let's take a quick break. We will come on back on Sports Byline.
Keep listening for details on how to get up to $300 airline credit. Sky Holidays introduces a one-of-a-kind air credit program. Our buying team got a little too aggressive in getting hotel and air deals, so now we have to liquidate our prices. Here's how. Whether you want to go to Paris, Las Vegas, London, Atlanta, Hawaii, or anywhere else in the world, we have amazing deals. Book a selected hotel and we'll give you up to $300 airline credit. Now you can book your vacation and get a free credit to use towards airline travel. We'll book both, airline and hotel, with one simple phone call. We have access to most airlines and deals on thousands and thousands of places to stay. Call right now, book your hotel rooms, claim your airline credit. You can change or modify it at any time. 800-256-4816. 800-256-4816. That's 800-256-4816.
Do you have Medicare and do you use a CPAP machine? This is a national healthcare alert regarding your CPAP supplies. Using a clean CPAP mask and clean supplies is important to staying healthy. The best way to make sure your CPAP equipment is clean is to get new supplies. If you have Medicare, we have great news. Medicare will pay for you to have new clean supplies every 90 days. We'll even do all the paperwork for you to make sure that there's little to no out-of-pocket cost to you. And you don't even have to leave your home. We provide free in-home delivery. So if you're a CPAP user and you have Medicare, staying healthy with new CPAP equipment is easy. Just make this free phone call right now to get started.
Sponsored by Specialty Medical. 800-913-9739. 800-913-9739. 800-913-9739. That's 800-913-9739.
Hey, vacation lovers, it's finally time to use all those random facts you learned on TikTok for something that actually matters. It's the Radio Trivia Challenge from thevacationbuddies.com. All right, here's how it works. Be one of the first 10 callers right now and you'll score a complimentary 3-day, 2-night getaway from the Vacation Buddies. You'll stay other than Westgate Resorts in your choice of Vegas, Orlando, Myrtle Beach, or Branson. You ready? According to Travel, which of these 3 cities is the most visited vacation destination in the U.S.? A, Las Vegas, B, Orlando, C, New York City. First 10 callers get the trip. So stop scrolling and start dialing. And let's see if TikTok actually taught you anything.
Be one of the first 10 callers. Call Vacation Buddies right now. 800-340-1834. 800-340-1834. 800-340-1834. That's 800-340-1834.
I honestly just got the chills as you described it again for me.
You must be crazy. Use a DOG. And if you was my man, I would have been kicked you out of my house by now. This is what had happened.
All right, so Albert, thank you, and welcome back to the show. With Coast to Coast around the world on the American Forces Radio Network. It's our pleasure to welcome to the show author Gigi Berardi. She has a new book entitled Bianca's Cure. which is supposed to be a book that you just can't put down. Gigi, welcome to the show. Congrats on that and the reviews so far. Tell us a little bit about Bianca's Cure.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's exciting. What would you like to know about?
What is it about?
Oh, what is it about? Yeah. So it is about this woman, Bianca, good question. This woman, Bianca Capello, who lived in the 1500s, and she was what we know about her is that she was the mistress of Francesco, the Grand Duke, and then his wife. But she was an alchemist, and we were the Medici at the time, so she found a way to get to Florence and created a laboratory and a garden of cures from what had been Michelangelo's garden just a century before. So it is about her story. It's very driven and very beautiful.
And
that's what we know about her. And so she's looking for a cure for one of the biggest diseases at that time, which was malaria. And malaria is actually an Italian word. Yeah, it comes from the Italian, means bad air, because people thought malaria was in the air.
Bad air. Wow. And I can tell from your surname, Berardi, that this is a little bit of a labor of love talking about Paisan, huh?
Yeah, maybe we should be talking about calcio, soccer in Italian. But yeah,
What's
Italian,
do you have a calcio team, by the way?
Well, I have to say, Florence itself is divided into 4 different teams.
La Viola, Firenze, yes. Yeah, Fiorentina.
Yeah, bello. But I live next to the Arsenal Tube Station, though, because I've been looking at your podcast here, and I think maybe I have some credibility there in London, yeah. It was Arsenal for a while, if we want to switch to England.
Okay, so you're having a very good season. They play Brentford today, actually. And so how far, you're in Islington, I would guess, right? The Haringey.
Yeah, exactly.
Borough, the Emirates. How far is did you go to Highbury back in the day, or the Emirates?
I lived in Islington.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Finsbury Park.
No, it was very exciting, yeah.
But you are a
I know.
You're a Fulbright scholar. I wanted to know, because I know that Rhodes Scholars go to Oxford. Where do Fulbright Scholars go?
This Fulbright scholar went to Perugia, Italy, and I was in Perugia for a year, which is right near Assisi. And Assisi, known for St. Francis and Franciscans, is a very magical place. So I think Italy in general is a pretty magical place. So I was studying there and working on my Italian. I was not writing fiction then. But Bianca's Cure really started when I was in Italy for that whole year in Perugia and Assisi. And Perugia is also known for its chocolates, the little baci, the little chocolates that have the nocciolo, the hazelnut in them. Yeah. So I think there is this big relationship between food and fiction, and the food got me to fiction, and there you go. But Bianca's Cure, supposedly Bianca is a ghost that lives in Florence. So I was trying to, get behind that and see if I could find that spirit, and I think I did.
Perugia, as you know, is the big university town, kind of like Heidelberg in Germany, and it's the capital of Umbria, right?
Totally, it is. Yeah, so that region, Umbria, yeah.
So did you go to Assisi and throw all your? Mm-hmm. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh my gosh, I went to Assisi with the secretaries in my department who did not speak English, and we would go to a fabulous restaurant called La Scala, the barn, and had beautiful grilled meats and vegetables and liqueurs, and I don't quite think we had absinthe there, but we might have. Absinthe comes from Artemisia, And Artemisia, there's many, many kinds of Artemisia. It's in the Asteraceae family. And Artemisia in Bianca's cure is the herb that she's using to try and find the cure for malaria. So again, I think it all gets back to food and beverage, like Atlas Sala in Assisi. Highly recommend people to go and dig into the food there. But Florence is really good for food also, for sure.
I think most people think of malaria. When most people think of malaria, they think of a tropical island. But yeah, this was, and today, still, hundreds of thousands of people suffer from malaria.
Totally. So 400,000 to 600,000. And what's interesting is in 2015, a Chinese person for the first time won a Nobel Prize in the scientific category. Can you believe it? And it happened to be a woman. And her name is Tu Yuyu, and she nailed this extract from Artemisia. And that Artemisia is still the most popular compound used in malaria treatment today. And it started when Mao Zedong and he commissioned her to comb through 2,000 years of Chinese medicine. So I think that Artemisia actually wound its way to Venice, where Bianca originally was from, and into Italy.
Maybe
so
Marco Polo brought it in. Well, what about quinine? Because we always hear, as they say in England, quinine, that you would take those tablets to stave off malaria.
Right, the cinchona bark, all that. Yeah, not as effective. What happens is somewhat effective, especially when it was first being used. But then the mosquitoes develop a resistance to that. So Artemisia annua is the species for malarial treatment. Seems to be effective even with prolonged use. So good, but not as effective. Yeah.
I loved them.
And malaria was a real problem in Italy. And apparently it was Mussolini in the 1930s who ordered a lot of civil engineering and drainage to drain the swamps, the coastal swamps along Italy. 80% of Italy is a mountain, basically. It's mountainous, but these little valleys in the coastal plains, they can be quite marshy, and malaria was a real problem. So anyway, they drained the marshes, and it helped. Yeah.
When I was last in Firenze, the Arno was bone dry. You could cross Ponte Vecchio going to l'Accademia, and no water. But I guess the Arno is flowing again.
Oh, it happens. I mean, that Arno has been pretty engineered, and so it makes sense that you'll have these periods of drought. But what the Italians remember, the Florence
flood.
People remember is 1966, the Great Flood. And I've got to say that
the bathroom is still on the buildings.
Yeah. Oh, I know. They saw cars floating by from 4 stories. But the person who was in charge of restoring the Cimabue crucifix, which is kind of like iconic for Florentines, his niece is the person who gave me the story for Bianca's cure. His niece was walking with me across the Piazza della Santissima Annunziata. We were talking in Italian. She said, Gigi, look behind you at that open window. She said, Bianca Capello lives there. And if they close the window, she screams. So then I went next door to the window, the Hotel Loggiato dei Serviti, Rich Steve, travel writer, one of his favorite hotels. And I asked the custodians, do you ever hear a scream? And they were like, yeah, we keep that window open. So, the niece of the man who restored the Cimabue from the 1966 flood, yes, gave me the inspiration for Bianca's Cure.
That's the book, Bianca's Cure, written by our guest, Gigi Berardi. Gigi, thank you so much for coming on the show. Grazie.
Bello, mille grazie a lei.
All right, good stuff. I'm Rick Tittle. We'll take a quick break. We'll come on back on Sports Byline.
Logan Fury did something smart. He saved hundreds on auto insurance switching to Progressive. With that money, he bought a mini treadmill. Is walking on it during video conference calls more distracting than he thought? Yes. And is that because he overestimated his foot-eye coordination? Definitely. But it's Logan's savings, and if he wants to burn calories and any chance at a promotion, we say, good for you, Logan. Switch and see if you could save with Progressive and treat yourself. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
I've got a question for you. Do you want a lower car payment just by making a phone call? You know, most people buy a car and they pay whatever the car dealer says their interest rate is, and they forget about it and make payments. But did you know there is a secret in your contract that allows another company to refinance any car payment to try and lower it? It's true. There is indeed a company out there that knows the ins and, more importantly, the outs on car loans, and they know how to lower your current car payments. It's easy and fast, and you could have a lower car payment next month. Make this free call right now and find out if you could lower your existing car payment. Call the Car Savings Hotline right now. The call is free.
Call now. 800-605-1680. 800-605-1680. 800-605-1680. That's 800-605-1680.
Are you over the age of 50? Want peace of mind and financial security for your family? Here's an important message to you from Senior Care USA. The average funeral now costs over $10,000. That leaves your loved ones the burden of paying your debts and funeral costs. Our plans start as low as $1 per day and will pay your family up to $30,000 to help pay for your funeral and other expenses. There are no medical exams. Your rates will never increase, and your plan cannot be canceled, regardless of your medical conditions, as long as you make your premium payments. Get up to $30,000 in final expense insurance. Call now for free information. Just answer a few simple questions and get approved right over the phone in just a few minutes. Call right now.
Call 800-399-6879. 800-399-6879. 800-399-6879. That's 800-399-6879.
Why'd I go to the doctor? Working on the farm, my heart kept skipping a beat. I didn't think much of it, but my daughters made me get checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimewait.com. Sponsored by Bristol Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
I'm not insightful enough to be a movie critic. Maybe I could be a food critic. These muffins taste bad. Or an art critic. That painting is bad.
Why can't you say you talk to me? You're already thinking about someone else. When it comes home, your bed is on and I'll be gone. But I know my day will come. I know someday I'll be the only one. So now you wait for a spark.
I'm so disgusted by Rick Tittle that I find him very intoxicating.
All right, thank you for that, and welcome back to the show. Rick Tittle with you, coast to coast. We're waiting on our guests, and if we get them, we'll throw them on the air. Third period right now, and Team Canada is leading Czech Republic 3-0. And I usually don't care about Team Canada, honestly. Why should I? They're so good, they don't need any extra fans. But because of Macklin Celebrini, I am more. Now then again, that gold medal team that had so many Sharks, that was cool with Patty and Boiler and Jumbo and those guys, and then, you know, Cooch and beating Pavelski, who got the silver. That was pretty cool. But yeah, USA getting ready to get going against Latvia a little bit later. All right, Rick Tittle with you coast to coast and around the world on the American Forces Radio Network. And we have found our guest, our friend Ken Henderson, who's here to talk about a very exciting evening that will be happening at the Marines Memorial Theater over on Sutter, of which I am a member, one of my favorite theaters in San Francisco. It is a event benefiting REEF, which is the Richmond Ermine Aid Foundation. One night only, benefit cabaret featuring the cast members of the National Broadway Touring Company of The Notebook, celebrating, of course, Valentine's Day this month. The show is called If This Is Love. Ken Henderson, welcome back to the show. When will we know if it is love?
Well, thank you for having me. Well, the whole month is about love, and this show is all the aspects of love, good, bad, indifferent, all that sort of stuff. You know, we think it's just going to be a really fun way to celebrate the month of love, and, you know, in today's world, we can use all the love we can get.
No doubt. Now, of course, The Notebook, huge movie, Rachel McAdams, Ryan Gosling, quote-unquote chick flick extraordinaire, a lot of people's favorite movies. When did somebody say, hey, this could be a Broadway play?
Well, that's a good question. I don't know why they decided, but it's a great story. It's a great book. It's a great movie. It's been a big hit on Broadway, and now the touring cast is, I think they're opening actually tonight in San Francisco. Actually, yesterday, I think they opened in San Francisco. So people are going to be seeing and hearing a lot about it over the next couple of weeks. And here's a chance to come here and see this amazing cast do an entirely original show. They're not doing anything from The Notebook itself, but this is their chance to get out and sing new material that they love, have a good time, and just raise money for a great cause.
And I believe that's at the Orpheum, if that's The Notebook.
The Notebook is at the Orpheum. It's great. So,
by the way, it was written by...
We're really excited to work with the cast, and we're excited to have, you know, the special guest stars that we've added, that some local favorites, you know, Jason Brock, who was on the X Factor, Leanne Barghese, who's been bi-coastal. She's New York, and here she was a MAC Academy, a MAC Award winner in New York. And new to any of our events this year is Dan Ashley, the ABC newscaster.
Oh, my gosh.
Also his own band and sings, and he's going to make his debut with us on this show.
Not surprising, Dan with his flowing Jarrell hair has been doing national anthems. That guy, and look, I'm a karaoke nerd. I'm not like him. He loves to sing, that dude.
Yes, he does. And he's going to be singing an original song that he's just released.
Wow.
So it should be pretty exciting, yeah.
It's called The Teleprompter's Broke.
Well, I don't think that's the song, but...
All right. By the way, Nicholas Sparks, who wrote The Notebook, I was just reminded, was on my show once. All right, so let's talk about this show, because there are some special guests, if you could talk about each, the lovely and talented Leanne Barghese, and also Mr. Jason Brock. And tell us about those special guests, if you could.
Well, Leanne's been appearing in different events for many years. She actually started probably at least 15 years ago as her alternate persona, Anita Cocktail. And we found out, you know, she was such a talented singer, we started having her come in as herself. Sometimes we've had her actually do both personas on the same show. But she's so talented, amazing. You know, she has a partner she sings with in New York at an act they call the Show Broads. But she's in and out, you know, New York, Francisco, back and forth. And we're just excited she's going to be here for this show. And of course, Jason Brock, he was a regular at a lot of our events for a long time. As I said, he was a top 10 contestant on the X Factor. Britney Spears absolutely loved him. But he's been in San Francisco for a long. He took a little hiatus for about 5 years and moved to Japan. But he's back in the Bay Area now, and we're excited to have him in our lineup as
I mentioned the Richmond Ermine Aid Foundation. I think there are a lot of people, especially youngsters, I'm just going to say as an old guy here, who didn't live through the 80s and the scare and the tragedy and the untold thousands that perished from this. And so now they think, oh, it's not a big deal anymore. Yeah, it is. And that's something I think we should always remember. And that's what the equity fights, and with Broadway Cares, you guys are assisting in this.
Yeah, we started off strictly as an AIDS fundraising organization, doing, concerts and galas. We started off because we personally had lost so many friends to AIDS at the time. And we, people don't, even AIDS is a manageable disease. We don't have a cure for it. It's still there. People are living with it, and that's oftentimes problematic because there's a lot of issues around long-term survivors. But we don't only just support AIDS and HIV anymore. We've expanded, almost 10 years ago, sort of expanded to also raise funds for hunger programs. Project Open Hand and those kind of Meals on Wheels have received funding from us. We also do homeless youth, serve seniors. So we've got a kind of multifaceted focus areas to try to raise funds for. And oftentimes the same people are clients of the same sort of organizations. You might be homeless. You might be a young homeless person who has to go to Open Hand or someplace to get your food. So it's those kind of people that we're trying to get into service, make sure they have what they need, and have a decent life.
I think it's interesting too that not only as you say the help that you provide in so many different ways with Reef, but these performers, as you mentioned, The Notebook. Now they've been doing it for a while. The touring cast from Broadway, so they know their lines and such and the understudies. But to do a one-off show, completely different. Do you think that this is something where someone would be like, oh, this could really throw me, or, oh, how great, I can do something different for one night?
Oh, they have a great time doing this. They get, they do the same songs night after night, all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And this is their chance to break out and do something different, something that they love. The other aspect is a lot of the cast members who have the chorus people, their dancers, the backup people, are really talented, but they don't get a chance to shine. So in this kind of a show, everybody's equal. They all get their moment on stage. They're solo, the big number. They all get to shine and show what they can really do. It's been funny because sometimes we've done, during rehearsals, the lead from the show, who used to do all the singing, will be in the audience watching the rest of it and go, wow, I didn't know they could do that. So it's amazing to watch, and they have a great time doing it. The energy is always way over the top.
The other thing, too, is that the Marines Memorial Club has been such a landmark in San Francisco, really, since World War II. And as the son of a naval officer, I've been able to glom off of that as a member, and it's a hotel. And I think a lot of people, it's I don't want to say vestigial, but a time where San Francisco was one of the biggest military towns in this country. And I know even though Dianne Feinstein fought against it, Clinton closed all the bases, and so we don't really have that military tradition like we used to. And so it's really cool to go into that lobby, see all the ribbons and the awards and the pomp and circumstance, and then go to a wonderful theater. It's, I think, a little hidden gem here in the city.
It's a great theater. People don't realize that it's even there. For a lot of people don't, anyway. That it's it's only over 500 seats, so you get to see everybody up close and personal. You could go to the Orpheum or the big theaters and see the shows, and you might be in the balcony looking down and be like, wow, I can almost see them there. But this is a smaller theater, it's more intimate. They have a great sound system. They're a great crew. They've been supportive of our events for many years now. They do donate to theater. We still have to pay union cast members and crew members and things, but they've been really supportive and just really great to work with. We love that theater.
All right, one night only, Fit Cabaret, featuring cast members from the National Broadway Company of the Notebook, celebrating the month of love with the show If This Is Love, benefiting the Richmond Ermit Aid Foundation and Broadway Cares. This will be Monday, February 23rd, coming up, 7:30 p.m. at Marines Memorial Theater. That's right there at 609 Sutter Street. And you can go to ono-thenotebook.eventbrite.com for tickets. We have been speaking with Ken Henderson. Ken, always good having you on, and have fun with the event.
Great. Thank you so much.
All right, I'm Rick Tittle. We'll take a break. Let's come back on Sports Byline.
Okay, let's have a little fun. Do you use the expensive blue pill to perform better? Are you thinking about it? So what if we can promise you results for less than $1 a pill? Okay, so these same pills can cost you $30 or more at a pharmacy. And our Better Blue Pill works for less than $1 a pill. You'll save $29 or more per pill. And right now, we'll give you 120 blue pills for just $99. Have a little fun and call right now. Get 120 of our Better Blue Pills for just $99. Don't overpay for the other blue pills. Call Steel Man Pills right now and get the Better Blue Pill for less than $1 a pill. Call 1-800-BUY-BLUE, 1-800-BUY-BLUE. It's easy to remember. 1-800-BUY-BLUE. That's 1-800-BUY-BLUE. And thanks for calling.
I am an American veteran. I'm proud to have served this country. Helping veterans is something all Americans can participate in, and it's as simple as donating an old car that you have sitting around. When you call the Veteran Car Donation Program, they'll explain how their program works, and then arrange a time they can come and pick up your vehicle for free. Running or not, it doesn't matter. They take cars, trucks, motorcycles, or vans. Show your support by donating your car and get a tax deduction in the process. Call the Veteran Car Donation Program right now. They'll come and pick your car up for free, and you'll get a tax deduction in the process. Call the number we're about to give you right now. Thank you, and God bless America.
800-887-1097. 800-887-1097. 800-887-1097. That's 800-887-1097.
I'm holding in my hand the American Silver Eagle dollar. It's a beautiful piece of American history, and it's 1 ounce of silver. Originally minted in 1986, these coins are a beautiful classic piece of American history, and they're a great investment you should add to your portfolio. The beauty of silver is that however much you have available to invest, silver is affordable and easy to acquire, with one coin costing around $30. So, if you choose to invest a few thousand in silver, you can get quite a bit for your money, and you'll have a tangible asset that you can hold, one you can be proud to own. Claim your piece of American history with American Silver Eagle dollars. Call the Silver Hotline right now.
800-620-1624. 800-620-1624. 800-620-1624. That's 800-620-1624.
People ask me, were you must have been the class clown. And I say, no, I wasn't. But I sat beside the class clown, and I studied him.
Tittle once threw a tennis ball at a donkey.
Thanks for that, and welcome back to the show. By the way, I mentioned earlier when I was speaking with Gigi Berardi, a Fulbright scholar, that I knew that a Rhodes Scholar went to Oxford. The first time I ever heard about a Rhodes Scholar was when the Rams quarterback, Pat Hayden, and my mom said, "Oh, I heard he's a Rhodes Scholar." And I was like, "What? What is that?" I had no idea. And definitely one of the smartest quarterbacks of all time. That team, when he finally got to start, and they were, he was handing off to guys like Lawrence McCutcheon and Capoletti and guys like that. Then they traded for Joe Namath, and then he went down. He got his job back, and then he broke his finger. And then Vince Ferragamo, the former Cal quarterback, was the one that took him to the Super Bowl. But there have only been less than 4,000 Rhodes Scholars that go just straight to Oxford on a full ride. And it used to be just open to men. Now there's been like 700 women over the years. But I always love the 4 categories if you want to come in. And they have Oxford has 16 U.S. districts to interview, and they cut it down to 2,800 every year, and then they ended up having about 30. So 2,800 down to 30. Number 1, academic excellence, duh. Number 2, the energy to use one's talents to the fullest, Marcus. Number 3, attributes such as truth, courage, kindness, and devoted to duty. You're smart, but you're a douche. And finally, the moral force of character and instincts lead. No shrinking violets. I don't know, maybe I should have got a Rhodes Scholarship, especially since I graduated with a 2.8. Yeah, I always say B-. You can say C+ if you want. I like B- better. All right, I'm Rick Tittle. Let's take a quick break. We'll come on back. 2 more hours on Byline.
Mike Sempervive with the Sports Byline Broadcasting Network 2-minute warning, and I promise I'll keep it around 2 minutes this time. One of the great things about Super Bowl Sunday is that it's an all-day party, complete with ridiculous debates about players, past and present, and people building their Rushmore lists. Some of the online banter leading into Super Bowl 60 revolved around NFL MVP Matthew Stafford and if he ranked as one of the top quarterbacks of all time. I used to think Matt Ryan had a better shot at the Hall than Matt Stafford, but then Ryan's Falcons famously lost Super Bowl 51 and Stafford went on to win Super Bowl 56 and has reached 17 years of playing at an elite level. Stafford isn't only a future Hall of Famer, but he's one of the greatest of his generation. But unfortunately for him, there's been a lot of great quarterbacks in and around his generation. I'll go back about 40 years and not mention guys like Unitas Graham, Starr, and Staubach. I'll put Stafford over today's younger set like Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, and Joe Burrow. And for argument's sake, I'll even put him over Phillip Rivers, Eli Manning, and Aaron Rodgers. Doing that gets Stafford into my top 15. But that's it. He, Phil Simms, Ken Anderson, and Joe Theismann can have a 3-way dance for spots 14 and 15. For me, I don't know how anyone has anyone other than Joe Montana and Tom Brady 1 and 2. From there, you can put these guys in any order you want. Steve Young, John Elway, Peyton Manning, Patrick Mahomes, Brett Favre, Dan Marino, Ben Roethlisberger, Drew Brees, Jim Kelly, Warren Moon, and Dan Fouts. That's who I've got. So in closing, I'm sorry, Matt fans. He's pretty great, but I don't think he makes the cut of being the elite of the elite. Then again, when you're in rarefied air like that, the noise pollution of lists like mine don't matter one bit. I'm Mike Sempervive with the Sports Byline Broadcasting Network 2-Minute Warning.
Have you been daydreaming about losing weight for years? Do you just yo-yo back and forth? At Innovative Wellness Center, we have a holistic weight loss program that allows you to lose up to 20 pounds in 30 days. People are losing weight like crazy and keeping it off. It can be done from anywhere in the United States. Go to our website at www.innovativewellness.center and schedule your complimentary consultation today.
Every champion has a team behind them, and for thousands of families without insurance, Christ Clinic is that team. At Christ Clinic in Katy, Texas, they provide high-quality, faith-based health care to people who can't afford it, because everyone deserves a shot at health, no matter their income or insurance status. Their doctors, volunteers, their mission, rooted in compassion, their impact, over 10,000 patient visits every year and growing. But they can't do it without help from fans like you. If you ever cheered for a comeback story, this is your chance to be a part of one. Donate today at ChristClinicKaty.org and help them keep the doors open for those who need it most. One gift can be the difference between surviving and thriving. Christ Clinic in Katy, where health meets hope and faith goes to work. That's Christ Clinic Katy, spelled Katy.org. Team up with them today.
Soccer season rolls on here on the Sports Byline Broadcast Network. This is Tyler Levine, host of First Touch, the premier weekly global soccer show across the entire Sports Byline broadcast, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, Simple Radio, and around the world on the American Forces Radio Network. We're talking English Premier League, Champions League, our picks of the week, and a whole lot more. First Touch on Sports Byline USA Fridays at 5 p.m. Eastern. See you there.
Getting together with friends to watch the game? Then you'll need American Premium Vodka. Handcrafted and pure, this is the one thing all Americans can agree on. Founder Mark Gus Scott chose the finest natural elements America has to offer, and you'll taste how great it is to be an American. Now available at Bevmo, GoPuff, Hy-Vee, and Fairway stores. American Premium Vodka. This is the America we need right now. Go to AmericanPremiumVodka.com. Celebrate responsibly.
Let's be honest. Most businesses don't struggle because demand is low. They struggle because their back end can't handle growth. Leads come in, but follow-up is slow. Calls get missed. Appointments don't get confirmed. And everything lives in different places. So even when marketing works, revenue doesn't scale. That's a systems problem. Create Assistance fixes this by building a done-for-you CRM and automation system that captures every lead, follows up automatically, confirms appointments, and keeps everything organized in one place. And only after that foundation is built, AI voice and chat employees get added on. If your business feels chaotic behind the scenes, it's time to fix the back end. Visit createassistance.ai and book your call today. Or you can call or text 515-500-2224. Again, that's 515-500-2224. We look forward to hearing from you.
Rick Tittle knows his sports.
I hate that guy.
I love that guy. Oh my gosh, he's so fine. Rick Tittle brings home the bacon, fries it up in a pan, and then he eats it.
Rick T in the hizzle for shizzle, biznatch.
Thank you for that, and welcome back to the show. You know, San Francisco, as much as we complain about it, and I mean me, it's sort of like a Marine. It's like if a Marine, they say, is not bitching, then something's wrong. You know, it just comes with the territory. But there's some great restaurants here. And I remember one year my buddy for his birthday wanted to go to Tad's, which was this steamy, dirty-ass place on Union Square. And I'm like, let's go to John's Grill. You know, Dashiell Hammett and the Maltese Falcon. And he's like, that's for old people. So John's Grill, when San Francisco burned down in 1906, except for a couple streets over here, it was 2 years later that John's Grill opened. It was like one of the first places to invest in downtown San Francisco, which was basically rubble. So it opened in 1908, and it's been going ever since, and through the world wars, and it's got the Jack LaLanne salad. Jack LaLanne, also an Oakland guy, but any famous person that's ever come through this town, dignitary, president, they basically have all eaten there. But anyway, my point is that I, put out a tweet saying, well, I don't need a bunch of football meatheads saying, oh, this burrito's pretty good. And yet, I did get a smile on my face when Dan Shaughnessy, maybe the most famous Boston sports writer right now who's been on this show, put out a tweet saying, John's Grill on Ellis Street, night before the Super Bowl, best restaurant in the world, period. Now, I don't think it's the best restaurant in the world, but it was just kind of cool, like, oh, he likes it too. And I'm like, wait a minute, didn't I just say I didn't care what other people thought? Maybe it's because I respect Dan Shaughnessy. But a shout out to a restaurant that's over 115 years old, and if you want to send a gift card over, go ahead. I know they're big fans here. All right, we got another 2 hours. Come on back.
It's game day. Are your moderate to severe Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keeping you from the action? Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza, could help you get back to the game. Skyrizi is proven to help people feel significant symptom relief, achieve remission, and visibly improve damage of the intestinal lining. Skyrizi is a prescription injection medicine for adults. Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines. Liver problems leading to hospitalization may occur when treated for Crohn's or ulcerative colitis.
Control is everything to me.
Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 prescribed biologic in Crohn's and ulcerative colitis combined. Learn more at skyrizi.com or 1-866-SKYRIZI.
My fellow Americans, let the message ring out that from this day forward, when you buy American, you buy the best. Handcrafted, something premium, something pure. For this is the very essence of what our servicemen and women gave their lives to protect, and by God, we shall not allow their sacrifice to be forgotten. It's time to show the world just how great American can be. And we will not wait for tomorrow to come. We will stand here, this moment, together, and we will start today. Don't ever forget how great it is to be American. America we need right now. American Premium Vodka. Celebrate responsibly.
Every champion has a team behind them, and for thousands of families without insurance, Christ Clinic is that team. At Christ Clinic in Katy, Texas, they provide high-quality, faith-based health care to people who can't afford it, because everyone deserves a shot at health, no matter their income or insurance status. Their doctors, volunteers, their mission, rooted in compassion, their impact, over 10,000 patient visits every year and growing. But they can't do it without help from fans like you. If you ever cheered for a comeback story, This is your chance to be a part of one. Donate today at ChristClinicKaty.org and help them keep the doors open for those who need it most. One gift can be the difference between surviving and thriving. Christ Clinic in Katy, where health meets hope and faith goes to work. That's Christ Clinic Katy, spelled KATY.org. Team up with them today.
Hour 2 of titillating sports. You thought it couldn't get any better, but it's better. Rick Tittle is back. He's so great. I can't believe how awesome he is. More sports talk, yes. Couldn't get any better, but it's better. Rick Tittle is back. He's so great. I can't believe how awesome he is. More sports talk, yes. Hour 2 of titillating sports.
Hey, check out Channel 9. Check out Rick Tittle.
All right, thank you for that, and welcome back to the show. Rick Tittle with you coast to coast and around the world on American Forces Network. It's our pleasure to welcome to the show author Keith Zlomsowitch. He has written a book called Stalked, It Could Have Been Me. And this is because Keith had a relationship with Nicole Brown Simpson. And Keith, welcome to the show. And I think we can kind of put two and two together about what it could have been me, as in the unfortunate and tragic case of Ron Goldman. But what happened with the whole situation at the time? Where were you during that tragic night?
The night that Nick and Ron were murdered, I was actually out of town in Atlanta. But Ron was working at one of my restaurants, and Nick was having dinner with his family at that restaurant, Mezzaluna. And it's pretty well believed that O.J. thought it was probably me that was coming to the gate that night, knowing that she had just come from Mezzaluna.
So the situation, now I know that, when you think about being with somebody else's woman, but they're not together, and some woman promises you, look, I'm not with that guy anymore. I mean, what did you understand that maybe there was a risk going on, or did you figured, hey man, it's everybody's an adult here, it's not a risk?
Well, 2 years prior to the murders is when Nicole and I started our relationship, when she actually had just left O.J. and separated from him and filed for divorce back in 1992 is when I met her. So we had about a 2 or 3 month romantic relationship that evolved into a 1.5 year incredible friendship. It was during that romantic relationship that we were followed, stalked, and spied on, and threatened by O.J. So I was well aware that there was some danger involved, but at the time, maybe I didn't think he was capable of doing what he actually did years later.
Did he ever get into your face, or anybody on his behalf get in your face?
Yeah, several times. The first, my second night in Los Angeles, when I first started dating Nicole, he showed up at one of my restaurants where we were at and burst right in and slammed his hands down on the table and stared me in the eyes and said, I'm O.J. Simpson and she's still my wife. And then there's the famous incident where he followed us home from a nightclub one night and actually watched us making love through the window of her house. We didn't know he was watching at the time, but we found out the next day when he showed up and burst in the back door and got right in my face and her face and started reading us the riot act. So to answer your question, yeah, there were numerous times when he was very threatening.
So when at the time when you heard the news, was it the kind of thing like, I'm heartbroken forever, I need to rush over there, or was it kind of a, oh, that's too bad that happened? Like, how far removed from Nicole were you when all that happened?
Well, we hadn't spoken in several months, and that was simply because O.J. forbid her to talk to me. They were trying their ill-fated reconciliation, and the mention of my name one day on a movie set drove him to go home and kick in her door, and you've probably all heard that 911 tape in October of '93 where he's kicking in her door and she's in fear, obviously, and he's screaming my name in the background. So after that point, we were forbidden to have any contact because of him. So I wasn't aware of how the relationship was progressing until the murders, and I got a hold of her family right away. They asked me to fly out and be a part of the funeral, be a pallbearer. So 3 days after she was murdered, I was laying her casket into the ground while standing next to him
knowing that he did it and finding out from her parents that the night she was murdered, she was talking about me and told her family she was going to surprise me with a phone call the next day. And she was dead 2 hours later.
So the other obvious question that everyone's wondering, why 30 years later write this book?
Well, simply because he's dead. And I feel that it was a lot safer. It was a lot safer to write the book now than it was when he was around. He always mentioned me in interviews while he was still alive. In his book, If I Did It, that crazy book that he wrote, he mentions me by name numerous times, very disparagingly, obviously. So I just didn't think it was a safe project to undertake while he was around. After he died, I started to thinking about it a little bit and decided it was time to tell Nick's story. She can't speak for herself, obviously, and we had a shared experience that I thought was important for people to understand.
Do you have any sort of, because obviously it's not your fault, but do you have any, at the risk of saying misguided guilt over it, or survivor's guilt, or I wish I was there, or I wish I would have done this or that, or do you say, like, look, this has nothing to do with me?
Well, I feel at the time it had nothing to do with me because I was so far removed, but knowing that he was still probably thinking of me, and maybe something triggered him because he was at Mezzaluna that night. So in my book, I thank Ron for trying to defend her and walking into what was a no-win situation. My guilt lies more in the fact that while I was under subpoena to both the prosecution and the defense, I was ultimately not used because the trial went off the rails. And they decided last minute not to use me. So I feel more guilty of the fact that I didn't get to testify in front of the jury. Not that it would have made much of a difference in my honest opinion, but I would have liked to have told the whole story in a court.
So when you, I mean, we all watched it. So for you, when you saw Darden and Marcia and everybody else just make a meal of it and get played by Johnny Cochran and F. Lee Bailey and everybody else, were you just shaking your head, or did you still think, look, this is beyond, he's beyond guilty, and that you never thought he would be found innocent just because, hey, it's about time a guy gets off, you know?
Well, yeah. Well, to be honest with you, I couldn't watch the trial. Being under subpoena, you have rules.
Oh.
So I couldn't follow it on a day-to-day basis. I was hearing snippets about it. I was aware that it had gone off the rails and turned into more of a racial component. I was aware of the makeup of the jury, and I was certainly aware of the climate in Los Angeles. I lived there at the time, and Nick and I were actually dating during the L.A. riots. So I knew that you know, the police and the district attorney's office were not very well thought of by the African American community, and my fear was that they would probably, and hopefully not, but probably discount all the evidence and go with their heart, and that's what they did.
So just as an aside, those days hanging out with like the Jack Nicholsons of the world, I mean, what was that, those salad days like?
Wow, it was pretty crazy. I mean, I opened the first Mezzaluna in 1986 in Aspen, and we became an immediate A-list celebrity hangout. And from that, I branched out and did Beverly Hills and Brentwood, and ultimately the Monkey Bar in West Los Angeles, which was just pure A-list celebrities every night. So it was a good time. It was a lot of fun. There were some very interesting people, obviously very talented. So I've got tons of stories. I go through some of them in the book, but there's a lot more, and it was a good time up until obviously the tragedy that came about on June 12th of '94.
Last question for you. Whenever you write a book like this, you want to tell the whole story, but there might be something a bit uncomfortable or a bit embarrassing, and you go, I'm going to leave that out. But a lot of times you're like, no, I gotta put that in to keep it legit. Was there a moment where you're like, I have to sort of revisit that part?
Well, I tried to detail as much as I could as far as the stalking and our incidents of fear came about. I did sort of relay some of the information that Nick told me personally about prior incidents of mental and physical abuse at O.J.'s hands. I did avoid speaking of anything personal about Nicole myself from a sexual standpoint. I just don't feel that's necessary for anyone to know, and I don't think it's the right thing to do in her memory.
The book is called Stalked. It Could Have Been Me by our guest, Keith Zlomsowitch. Keith, thanks for coming on, and good luck with the book.
Rick, thank you for having me. I appreciate the forum.
All right. I'm Rick Tittle. We'll take a quick break, and we'll come back with some open lines at 1-800-878-PLAY.
Hey, vacation lovers! It's finally time to use all those random facts you learned on TikTok for something that actually matters. It's the Radio Trivia Challenge from thevacationbuddies.com. All right, here's how it works. Be one of the first 10 callers right now and you'll score a complimentary 3-day, 2-night getaway from the Vacation Buddies. You'll stay at none other than Westgate Resorts in your choice of Vegas, Orlando, Myrtle Beach, or Branson. You ready? According to Travel Stats, which of these 3 cities is the most visited vacation destination in the U.S.? A, Las Vegas, B, Orlando, C, New York City. First 10 callers get the trip. So stop scrolling and start dialing. And let's see if TikTok actually taught you anything.
Be one of the first 10 callers. Call Vacation Buddies right now. 800-340-1834. 800-340-1834. 800-340-1834. That's 800-340-1834. Packages start at $29.99 a month with signed agreement. Restrictions apply. Speak to a representative for complete offer details. See Vivint.com for license details. Terms and conditions apply.
Homeowners, if you're looking for the best in home security and smart home technology at a price you can actually afford, we have great news. Now you can get Vivint's award-winning home security systems starting at about $1 a day. U.S. News and World Report has recognized Vivint as the best professionally installed home security system of 2022. And right now, you can get Vivint's home security technology for about $1 a day. Plus, get free professional installation from a licensed technician. Protect your home and loved ones for as low as $1 a day. Call right now for your free home security consultation.
800-918-6189. 800-918-6189. 800-918-6189. That's 800-918-6189.
It's more than a rebellion. When your teen is slipping into drugs or alcohol, when social media and pornography consume their time and their mind, when depression and even suicidal thoughts cast a shadow over your home, as a parent, you feel powerless. There is hope. At Turnabout Ranch, troubled teens step away from the chaos and into a clarity of nature on a working cattle ranch. Care for horses, learn responsibility, build trust, and rediscover purpose. It isn't theory, it's real work, real therapy, real healing. Families from across the country have found transformation right here, just when they thought hope was gone. If your teen is struggling with addiction, harmful online behaviors, even weight management, call right now and get the help you all need.
800-219-2494. 800-219-2494. 800-219-2494. That's 800-219-2494.
You can't be serious, man. You cannot be serious!
Rick Tittle's got a black belt in keeping it real.
Thanks for that, and welcome back to the show. Rick Tittle with you coast to coast and around the world on the American Forces Radio Network. And if you're watching on our twitch.tv webcams there, you see I have a guest in studio, and it is the veteran Hollywood movie maker Alex Cox. He has a new movie he has written and directed entitled Dead Souls. It'll be the closing feature tonight at the Roxy, all part of the San Francisco Indie Fest. Alex, welcome to the studio. Now, people say Did you say or someone else say this is your last film? That sounds foreboding.
Well, it's a bit like the Who's farewell tour. You know, I can have a few last films maybe, but we'll see. But I'm an old guy, you know. Maybe it will be.
Now, you originally from Blighty, as we say. I spent a lot of time over there. And,
Perfidious Albion.
Perfidious Albion. I always love that line, yeah. So my ancestors in the 1770s came over from Brighton, but I know that you spent some time there, right?
Brighton.
No, I'm sorry, not Brighton. Bristol.
Bristol.
Sounds
I was in Bristol for a year. I was going to film school, and it rained every day. And I have a friend I hadn't seen in many, many years who went to live in Bristol. I saw him last year, and I said, "Is it still pouring with rain?" And he goes, "Oh no, it doesn't rain anymore."
Wow. So where did you grow up, your younger years?
I grew up outside Liverpool.
Okay. So you're Scouse.
To the north. So I'm what they call a cardboard Scouse, because I wasn't actually from the city itself. I was from across the water.
Were you from, or were you Everton or Liverpool?
I actually supported Tranmere Rovers.
Tranmere Rovers,
because that was
yeah.
our local.
The Whirl.
Local guy. On the Whirl, exactly, the Whirl.
Very good. I'm Spurs, as you might see, Tottenham through and through. But I have to mention that when I was in college, there were two movies that were huge in the United States, and I saw both of them. First was Repo Man, and then Sid and Nancy.
Oh, yeah.
And,
I saw them, too.
And we can get into those. We don't have time to get into all because we want to talk about your new film. But to work with Gary Oldman at the time, playing Sid Vicious, did you realize that, I mean, did you think this guy is going to have a 50-year career, he's going to get suited and booted and go to Buckingham Palace someday? Like, he's that talented.
Well, I think he wanted that. I don't know. I didn't know him well enough. For me, he was just an actor that I'd seen in a stage play, and he hadn't done any films at that point.
You gave him a big break.
I guess so. That was his first feature, and so I just always think of people as actors, you know. And if they're a good actor, then it's a pleasure to work with them.
Mm-hmm. So to write and direct Repo Man, which was such a interesting movie, there hadn't been anything like it at the time, and Harry Dean Stanton, Emilio Estevez, what was that like when did you have these guys in mind, or did you go through a long audition process?
No, I was going to do it originally. I was going to do it with Dennis Hopper and Dick Rude.
Oh, wow.
And I had a very nice lunch with Dennis, and he was very nice, but his agent wanted a bit more money than there was in the budget.
Wow.
And then my wife, I knew Harry Dean already because I tried to get him to be in a student film when I was at UCLA.
Mm-hmm.
But my wife ran into him, met him at a party. She wasn't my wife then, she was in another relationship, but she called me and said, "You have to get back in touch with this guy, Harry Dean Stanton, because he has that Old West skeleton-y thing, which will be perfect for your film." And he did, and he was perfect.
I love that Old West skeleton.
The Old West skeleton-y thing.
And just to finish up on, you've done a lot of films, and then Straight to Hell, and how cool to have Joe Strummer from The Clash in that.
Yes. Oh, and I worked with Joe for 3 years pretty solidly, because right when they finished The Clash, right after they came back from the busking tour, was when Joe and I met, and I said, "Maybe you'd like to see this film when we finish shooting it, you know." He said, "Oh yeah, I'll come and look at it, you know." And he ended up writing, even though officially he's only credited with 2 songs in Sid and Nancy, but he actually wrote 6 that are on the soundtrack under pseudonyms. And then we did Straight to Hell, in which he wrote music and acted. And then we did Walker in Nicaragua, in which he had a small acting role and wrote the score, which I don't know if you ever heard his score for Walker. It's amazing.
Now, you had kind of an affinity or maybe a fascination with the Sandinistas, is that right?
Well, no, I'd just gone down there because I thought it was interesting that this was in Carter times, that initially the media were very positive about the Sandinistas because they'd overthrown a cruel dictator, you know, and some of them wore Panama hats, you know, they were totally cool. And then, this was the weird thing, within a matter of weeks, the media kind of turned. And all of a sudden, it wasn't Somoza that was the problem. It wasn't the dictator that they got rid of. It was the Sandinistas that were the problem. And I just thought that was so interesting, that the media could actually reverse their position in unison.
Kind of like the Mujahideen. They were our friends.
They were our friends until they were our enemies. And they were also invented in the Carter regime by Brzezinski. That Brzezinski guy caused us a lot of problems.
Yeah, Zbigniew Zabrinski.
Zbigniew,
He was the
yeah.
guy who said, well, let the Shah come to New York for medicine. It's no big
what
deal.
he said, and Carter said, and then they will attack the embassy and take our diplomats hostage. And Zabrinski said, no, they won't.
He's an old friend. You can't have him getting medicine in Panama.
But anyway, it's the Sandinista film that we did was called Walker, and it was Joe Strummer's the first thing he did that was a total solo movie score. And it's incredible. It's really worth, if it can be found, it's really worth finding.
You, by the way, just meeting you in person, you have a marvelous cadence about, I mean, to do, I don't know, books on tape or something, as they say.
Why, thank you.
Please hold for Dr. Johnson. Have you been, I'm sure you've been told that before, though.
I did. Actually, the guy who cuts my hair, I did his phone message for him. But
Is that
it's the
right?
only one I've done, the flat top. Yeah. You've reached the flat top.
Now,
Mike Torres is not available right now.
So I'm interested, too, is that at a young age, as you mentioned, UCLA, and coming over here, the kind of thing it's like, yeah, I can make movies in London, but to go really big time, you know, you got to go to Hollywood, I guess.
No, it wasn't like that.
What was it?
No, there was very little in the way of film education in England in the 1970s. There was the course that I went on, which was at Bristol, which was a one-year course. And then the only other two film schools at that time were in London. I didn't like London. Didn't want to go to London, you know.
What was it about London?
Well, I'm from Liverpool.
You don't like those Southerners?
No.
Fancy dance?
If you're going to London, people in Liverpool literally say, I'm going down to England today. I'm coming back tonight. But anyway.
Where did you stay in London when you went? Like, did you live there for a while? Or?
I lived there when we were making Sid and Nancy. And I had a place in Bermondsey.
Oh, yeah,
Across the
just
river.
south of Thames.
Yeah, which is where Gary Oldman came from.
Okay.
Which is a working class neighborhood, very depressed. I had found, though, kind of an
Very
artist.
posh
Now
now.
it's all gentrifying.
Yeah.
But when Gary lived there, it was very poor, and it still was poor, largely poor when I was there. So I understood then where he was coming from and why he wanted to get out of Bermondsey, you know.
Sort of not too far from the Battersea Power Station. And I noticed, like, when I went south of Thames towards Greenwich, I went through a lovely town called Mudchute.
Mudchute, that's right.
It's a great name for a place.
So, well, you know the Tower Bridge and the Tower of London, and then on the opposite side of the Tower Bridge is Bermondsey.
Right. The Shard. No, really. It's quite near there.
Oh, that came after my time.
I've not been up the Shard, but I've seen the Shard, yeah. That used to be the Gherkin, or Canary Wharf in the East End. Like, those would be the new...
That became very large in the Thatcher.
The new places,
period and
yes.
thereafter, yeah.
So for you, when you write and direct, and Walker was a film that you directed, but you didn't write, did you find that in any ways handcuffed or stifling, that you couldn't, or did you think there was maybe more freedom, that you didn't have to worry about the script?
No, it was better because I had a collaborator, you know, because Rudy Wurlitzer wrote the script of Walker, and I'm one of those directors who loves to have the writer come to the set, you know, and so I was constantly, oh, Rudy, you've got to come back down to Nicaragua. All the actors are asking for you, you know. And they were, because there were a ton of actors, and they all wanted to talk about their character. So I was very fortunate that Rudy was the screenwriter.
That's great. And so when you think about, we just have a minute to break. Can you stay another segment?
Yes.
Yes, I'm chatting about other things about your film, and I want to make sure we promote Dead Souls at SF Indie Fest.
Yes.
To check it out
Tonight.
Tonight. And by the way, just when you go to these premieres, are you still asked to sign maybe some weird paraphernalia or memorabilia or such things?
Yeah, people have brought their Repo Man DVD.
Yeah. That's
or their Repo Man VHS.
Isn't that interesting how that film still resonates?
It's interesting, isn't it? Yeah,
Yes.
who would have thought that?
I just remember the one line I remember is when Harry Dean drives up and he says something like, "Hey, you want to make some money?" And it's like, "Blank you, blank."
Yeah. Oh, we had really, I mean, you couldn't make Repo Man now because the stuff we said about John Wayne, you couldn't say that in a film now.
Right. It was and it's too bad, really, when you think about it. All right, what we'll do is we'll take a quick break and we'll come back, and we're very happy to have in studio with us Alex Cox. He has written and directed a new film called Dead Souls, which will be tonight at the Roxy. Did we get a time when it is at the Roxy?
8:30.
8:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We'll take a quick break and we'll come on back on Sports Byline.
Chick-fil-A's new frosted sodas and floats, it's a 10 out of 10. Hey, this is Lizzie, a team member at my local Chick-fil-A, and a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich and new frosted sodas and floats is how well they go together. You will love having your favorite soda blended with our creamy ice stream to make a new frosted soda or float. With the mix of the ice stream and soda fizz, it's so delicious, I call it Fizzalicious.
Order a Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich and a new frosted soda and float at your local Chick-fil-A restaurant. Real team member paid for their testimonial.
Quick question. How many calls, texts, or messages does your business miss every week? Nights, weekends, busy days. That's lost money. Create Assistance helps businesses fix that problem using AI employees that answer calls, respond to texts, book appointments, and follow up with leads 24/7 automatically. No extra staff, no complicated software. Everything runs inside one simple command center that replaces scattered tools, missed follow-ups, and manual busywork. Whether you're a service business, office, or multi-location company, Create Assistance keeps your business responsive, organized, and running even when you're off the clock. Stop letting leads slip through the cracks. Visit createassistance.ai to book a free call. Or you can call or text 515-500-2224. Again, that's 515-500-2224. We look forward to hearing from you.
Are you over the age of 50? Want peace of mind and financial security for your family? Here's an important message to you from Senior Care USA. The average funeral now costs over $10,000. That leaves your loved ones the burden of paying your debts and funeral costs. Our plans start as low as $1 per day and will pay your family up to $30,000 to help pay for your funeral and other expenses. There are no medical exams. Your rates will never increase, and your plan cannot be canceled, regardless of your medical conditions, as long as you make your premium payments. Get up to $30,000 in final expense insurance. Call now for free information. Just answer a few simple questions and get approved right over the phone in just a few minutes. Call right now.
Call 800-399-6879. 800-399-6879. 800-399-6879. That's 800-399-6879.
Have you been daydreaming about losing weight for years? Do you just yo-yo back and forth? At Innovative Wellness Center, we have a holistic weight loss program that allows you to lose up to 20 pounds in 30 days. People are losing weight like crazy and keeping it off. It can be done from anywhere in the United States. Go to our website at www.innovativewellness.center and schedule your complimentary consultation today.
This is special too. It's look, see, still got the old tagger on it. See, never even played it. See? You just bought it. Don't touch it. Don't touch it. I wasn't going to touch it. No, don't touch it. I was just pointing at it. Well, don't point even. Don't even point. No, it can't be played. Never. I mean, can I look at it? No, you've seen enough of that one.
I'm so disgusted by Rick Tittle that I find him very intoxicating.
Thank you for that, and welcome back to the show. Rick Tittle with you coast to coast around the world on American Forces Network, 177 countries, and you can see on twitch.tv and streaming on YouTube, Alex Cox, writer-director in studio of the new film Dead Souls, which will be the closing film. I always save the best for last at festivals, is sfindiefest.org, at the Roxy Theater here in San Francisco, and Alex and I were just speaking during the break, and I was wondering if you still live in the UK or LA, and you're in Southern Oregon, very rural, and not only that, you are a volunteer fireman.
I am a volunteer firefighter. Although we're all pretty old now. I'm a volunteer firefighter, 71 years old, so I'm not going to be the one that climbs on the roof and saves Granny. But it's interesting, isn't it? Because we were talking about Oregon, and it is, people think of Oregon and Idaho and stuff as very rednecks and very right wing and stuff, which is to a certain extent is true, But when there's a fire. When the fire department shows up, nobody asks you your politics.
Right.
Nobody says, I'm not having any right.
Did you vote for Hillary? Otherwise, let my house burn.
No liberals on my property. Nobody says that when you come to fight the fire, So that's been a very, very valuable lesson to me.
Or as you would say, the fire brigade.
Or the fire brigade, as we used to say.
I always like brigade a little bit better. So to me...
That was a song, right? Manfred Mann, was it? The fire brigade, the fire brigade.
I only remember Blinded by the Light. Yes, the Earth Band. Yes.
Anyway, so.
Yes, I'm surprised that you don't have a little bit more of a Scouse accent, or did you have to get rid of that?
No, we used to talk like this all the time, but they can't understand you if you talk like this.
There it is.
It comes to America, you have to moderate things a bit,
There it is.
Unless you're Ringo. If you're Ringo, you don't need to.
If you're Ringo.
You can stay the way you always were.
So when this is going to sound a bit trite, but I'll ask it anyway. Do the Beatles mean more to you because you're from the same area?
Absolutely.
Okay.
My favorite band. Well, after the Clash.
Okay.
Clash, my favorite band. Beatles second.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm a karaoke nerd, and sometimes they'll do live band, and it was Clash live band karaoke. And so you'd get there early, and you'd sign up, and it was one person per song, and I was very happy that Spanish Bombs was available. What days out there?
I'm flying in on a DC-10 tonight.
DC-10 tonight. That was so fun to sing that with the chords, wow, 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 and be on stage.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a thrill. That sounds like something you might enjoy.
Well, I'm seeing a guy this afternoon. I'm going to go to MoMA with a guy who used to be great friends with Joe's drummer, Rudy Fernandez, who was a big pal of the Clash, and he's still around. Yeah.
How do you find our fair city when you come up?
A lot of money here, huh? You look at those cars. Well, we're in downtown, admittedly, but look at those cars, man. There's not a used car in sight.
You have to go a little bit in the other directions, maybe just a tad, yeah. So for you, why was it, not the Cotswolds or the Valley, but Oregon? What spoke to you? Was it the kind of being quasi off-grid?
No, my wife lived there.
Oh, okay.
So I had to go and live in Oregon, too.
Fair enough. There it is. All right, let's talk about Dead Souls. Here's the blurb. The mysterious Strindler appears in a small Arizona desert town. It is 1890 and the year of the census, and he's paying money for the names of dead Mexicans, and no one knows why. Tell us more, Alex.
Well, you have to see the film to find out why.
That's it.
But the story is the story of a book called Dead Souls by Gogol, in which the protagonist's name is Chichikov. And he's going around what was then Russia, rural Russia, although now it's part of Ukraine. And he's buying the names of dead serfs from landowners. And nobody knows why. He's amassing a big list of the names and addresses of dead serfs. Why? And all of that was happening around about the turn of the American Civil War, because I think the Tsar liberated the serfs the year the American Civil War began, and it took Lincoln, 3 or 4 more years to issue the Emancipation Proclamation. So it's interesting, the synchronicity of that both these liberations were happening in a very, very short space of time.
So could you tell us about the cast, please?
Well, the cast contains a number of actors from Arizona. It contains some people I've worked with before, like Xander Schloss and Dick Rude.
You finally got Dick Rude.
Got Dick back again. Dick hadn't acted for 12 years.
Wow.
Dick became a director. He made a film called Quit about trying to give up smoke and Vices, which was actually pretty good. But he's been working in construction. He has a construction business in L.A., and so I persuaded him to come back. So Xander's in it, Dick's in it. Edward Tudorpole, I should say, very fine actor, is also in it. And Del Zamora, who was also in Repo Man and pretty much everything else I've done.
Wow. You have like a lot of people, you have guys and gals that you trust, kind of like Scorsese or whomever. Like you have, like, I know they're going to deliver. They're not going to rock the boat, and I guess
they can, but sometimes they do rock the boat. But they get used to you, and they're much more troublesome. They're much more troublesome than people you don't know. You know?
And the Xander Schloss from the Circle Jerks,
for example,
that's the Xander Schloss.
Yes.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And he can act.
Oh, he's a good actor. Yeah.
Okay.
He's a good actor, and he's very good in this. Actually, he plays a great character.
So when you think about the collaborative effort of having people that you've been with for a long time, how much of it at this point, as your evolution of a director, is like, I shouldn't stand here, my character would never say that, and you just say, look, can we just shoot this and go home? Or do you like, no, tell me more?
No, I tell them, right, okay. I don't care where they stand. If they want to sit on top of the refrigerator, I mean, they don't have a reason to want to do it. But no, I would give the actors a lot of leeway, because I figure if you're the director, you have to deal with all the characters in the script, and you have to deal with all the crew people, and you have to decide where the cars are going to be parked the following morning. So there's lots of work for a director to do, and if the actor is inspired, much better to let them run with it, because they know their character. Everybody else,
even if you wrote it, they know the character.
They know the character better than I do. They've thought about that more, because I've written a piece that has 20, 25 characters, but Xander only knows his character. And he showed up on set having designed and built his own costume.
Wow.
So he showed up in a kind of buckskin outfit with a dead coyote wrapped around his neck. I mean, yeah, he just came with his own costume.
Well, that's like, I always like hearing afterwards, like, like Tarantino arguing with Michael Madsen, like, take off that effing hat. And he goes like, no, I'm going to leave it on. I go, okay, well, then I'm going to write a line where we make fun of you wearing it. Like, is that the kind of fun that you can have as you're making a movie?
Well, I think, it's a different world, isn't it? Because I think on a Tarantino film or a Hollywood film, they have weeks and weeks to shoot, so they can start fooling around like that. But I'm very disciplined, I mean, I shot this film in 15 days.
Wow.
So there isn't a lot of time for messing about,
90 minutes?
Yeah, 85. 87.
So
it's
perfect.
like a regular feature, but we rampaged through. We shot 5 or 6 pages a day.
Well, everything's 3 hours now. Thank you for making a normal movie.
Oh, God, isn't it terrible?
Well, and it's less runs in the theater, too, per day.
It's really crazy. I mean, I saw that Scorsese movie, about the murder of the Native American people. There was a good hour and a half movie in there.
There was. I couldn't agree with you more. And I was like, we didn't need that scene. We didn't need that scene. And yeah, I don't know why, but it's a self-indulgent thing now where it's weird where the studios are like, whatever you say, I'm going to need $250 on this. Okay, whatever you want. And then you get half the money, too, because you only get half the run.
And it's interesting, isn't it? But I think that the theatrical life isn't so important to them anymore. The theatrical life is a thing that happens before the streaming.
So that's the other thing, too, is like you come from back in the day where we're getting our hands dirty, splicing film together, trying to get dailies, and then now everything comes through the clear blue sky right to our phones. What's that like to see that transition?
Well, in terms of editing, it's fantastic, because in terms of editing, it means that, the director can be in one place, the editor can be somewhere else, the special effects team can be somewhere else. So I was in Oregon, Merritt, the editor, was in Brasilia, and the special effects, the visual effects team were in Berkeley.
Wow.
But the corollary of that is that what would take you 10 minutes to resolve if you were all in the same room can go back and forth for weeks because you're not all in the same room. So there was something to be said for that old-fashioned style of editing where you meet around the moviola, the director, the editor, the special effects guy. You look at the thing, you go, oh, okay, I got it, done. you know. Whereas if you're all separate, it's harder sometimes to stay on the same page.
Just to quote Scorsese, and I don't know if he came up with it, but I heard him say that, you know, movies aren't finished, they're abandoned. For all the films that you've done, are you like, lickety-split, exactly the way I want it, or I can't take it anymore, print it, and let's move on to the next one?
Neither, and I don't understand what he said. I don't understand that comment, because it just seems to me that that's a laziness. You know, of course the thing is finished at a certain point, unless you don't want it to finish, you know, like an academic or a politician. You're just going to drag it on forever, you know, fighting for healthcare, you know. But really, you want to finish the project. You know, you want to shoot it, you want to edit
That's
it,
the
you want
arc.
to do all the stuff and get it finished. And there's nothing nicer than to get to the end and to be able to say, wow, we've signed off. It's finished. It's done. You know?
Yeah.
So I feel differently about that. I don't think that everything has an end.
All right.
Everything has an end, and
I
it
like
should be
that.
celebrated.
All right, so everybody, sfindiefest.com for your tickets. Dead Souls. This is from our guest, Alex Cox, and it is coming out tonight at 8:30 at the Roxy Theater. Make sure to see it, and if you can't get there, coming, I'm sure, to streaming services and theaters.
Well, actually, with a bit of luck, we have distribution with a very good company called Kino Lorber.
Oh.
So it will have a proper U.S. distribution, both theatrically,
Great.
and then on discs, and then streaming.
Alex, it was my distinct pleasure having you in. Cheers, mate.
Thank you.
All right, I'm Rick Tittle. We'll take a quick break. We'll come on back.
I am an American veteran. I'm proud to have served this country. Helping veterans is something all Americans can participate in, and it's as simple as donating an old car that you have sitting around. When you call the Veteran Car Donation Program, they'll explain how their program works, and then arrange a time they can come and pick up your vehicle for free. Running or not, it doesn't matter. They take cars, trucks, motorcycles, or vans. Show your support by donating your car and get a tax deduction in the process. Call the Veteran Car Donation Program right now. They'll come and pick your car up for free, and you'll get a tax deduction in the process. Call the number we're about to give you right now. Thank you, and God bless America.
800-887-1097. 800-887-1097. 800-887-1097. That's 800-887-1097. Hey, airline travelers, let's say you have a problem and you need to change or cancel an existing airline reservation. What do? Well, Skywatch is a free service that can help anyone with any airline reservation fix it. Whether you want to cancel it, change your dates, or add passengers, we can help fix your airline reservations so you get exactly what you need. We've updated our computer database and now have access to every airline around the globe. So now you can make one phone call regardless of who booked your airline tickets, and we'll change it, cancel it, and fix it for you. We know the insider secrets to fixing reservations that the airlines don't want you to know about. So if you need to cancel, change, or modify an existing airline reservation, call Skywatch right now. It's a free call, so let us fix it for you. 855-325-5647. 855-325-5647. 855-325-5647. That's 855-325-5647. You hear that? That's the sound of uncertainty lurking under your hood. You know the feeling. I know I do. That sudden sinking sensation when you see a check engine light or your car unexpectedly breaks down and you're faced with sky-high repair bills. It's time to shield against unexpected repairs with CarShield. CarShield is America's most trusted auto protection company and has an A rating with the Better Business Bureau. Don't let the fear of a breakdown keep you up at night. Trust the Shield, Car Shield, and say goodbye to terrifying repair bills and hello to peace of mind. Your plan also comes with 24/7 roadside assistance, courtesy towing, rental car options, and so much more. Don't wait till it's too late. Call Car Shield now before a breakdown. Protect your wallet. Protect your car with Car Shield. Get our best protection ever. Call now. You'll thank me later. 800-247-6135. 800-247-6135. That's 800-247-6135.
I'm going to give you to the count of 10 to get your ugly, yellow, no good keister off my property.
If you're thinking about calling Rick Tittle, just put down that phone and shut your ugly face.
Thanks for that, and welcome back to the show. Rick Tittle with you. Pretty cool to talk to an accomplished filmmaker like that, and he was very nice to come in. He was a little early, so we kept him 2 segments, which was good, and just put a picture out with him. And I told him he's definitely dressed Oregon, as he he lives in Southern Oregon now. But it's also interesting too to whenever you hear stories about people who were supposed to get a role. Like, I can't think of that movie Repo Man without Harry Dean Stanton. I think of Dennis Hopper. I mean, I guess it makes sense at the time, but Dennis Hopper wanted too much money, and you understand that. I think the one that maybe freaked me out the most was hearing that Full Metal Jacket, instead of Matthew Modine, it was Anthony Michael Hall. And the deal was done, and Kubrick insisted on Anthony Michael Hall, but he was going to have to miss his entire senior year. He was going to have to live in England for it. And he was a little bit sick, and his parents were going to have to move with him. And they said at the end of the day, it was just going to be too difficult. They were going to have to move the entire family to England for an entire year, and it just was just a bit too much. Now, Matthew Modine did a great job as Private Joker, but it would have been a completely different thing. Matthew Modine is a grown man. Anthony Michael Hall, when he was 17, looked like he was 12. I mean, it would have been much more stark to see Anthony Michael Hall go through Paris Island with R. Lee Ermey screaming at him. But there's tons of stuff like that. Like, what is it, Tom Selleck turned down being Indiana Jones? There's all sorts of things like that. But anyway, my thanks to Alex Cox for coming in. All right, third hour, almost all open lines. We can get into, I know, dare I even bring it up, sports talk. I'm Rick Tittle. Come on back on Byline.
I'm Mike Sempervive with the Sports Byline Broadcasting Network 2-minute warning, and I promise I'll keep it around 2 minutes this time. One of the great things about Super Bowl Sunday is that it's an all-day party, complete with ridiculous debates about players, past and present, and people building their Rushmore lists. Some of the online banter leading into Super Bowl 60 revolved around NFL MVP Matthew Stafford and if he ranked as one of the top quarterbacks of all time. I used to think Matt Ryan had a better shot at the Hall than Matt Stafford, but then Ryan's Falcons famously lost Super Bowl 51, and Stafford went on to win Super Bowl 56 and has reached 17 years of playing at an elite level. Stafford isn't only a future Hall of Famer, but he's one of the greatest of his generation. But unfortunately for him, there's been a lot of great quarterbacks in and around his generation. I'll go back about 40 years and I'll mention guys like Unitas Graham, Starr, and Staubach. I'll put Stafford over today's younger set like Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, and Joe Burrow. And for argument's sake, I'll even put him over Phillip Rivers, Eli Manning, and Aaron Rodgers. Doing that gets Stafford into my top 15. But that's it. He, Phil Simms, Ken Anderson, and Joe Theismann can have a three-way dance for spots 14 and 15. For me, I don't know how anyone has anyone other than Joe Montana and Tom Brady 1 and 2. From there, you can put these guys in any order you want. Steve Young, John Elway, Peyton Manning, Patrick Mahomes, Brett Favre, Dan Marino, Ben Roethlisberger, Drew Brees, Jim Kelly, Warren Moon, and Dan Fouts. That's who I've got. So in closing, I'm sorry, Matt fans. He's pretty great, but I don't think he makes the cut of being the elite of the elite. Then again, when you're in rarefied air like that, the noise pollution of lists like mine don't matter one bit. I'm Mike Sempervive with the Sports Byline Broadcasting Network 2-Minute Warning.
Have you been daydreaming about losing weight for years? Do you just yo-yo back and forth? At Innovative Wellness Center, we have a holistic weight loss program that allows you to lose up to 20 pounds in 30 days. People are losing weight like crazy and keeping it off. It can be done from anywhere in the United States. Go to our website at www.innovativewellness.center and schedule your complimentary consultation today.
Every champion has a team behind them, and for thousands of families without insurance, Christ Clinic is that team. At Christ Clinic in Katy, Texas, they provide high-quality, faith-based health care to people who can't afford it, because everyone deserves a shot at health, no matter their income or insurance status. Their doctors, volunteers, their mission, rooted in compassion, their impact, over 10,000 patient visits every year and growing. But they can't do it without help from fans like you. If you ever cheered for a comeback story, this is your chance to be a part of one. Donate today at ChristClinicKaty.org and help them keep the doors open for those who need it most. One gift can be the difference between surviving and thriving. Christ Clinic in Katy, where health meets hope and faith goes to work. That's Christ Clinic Katy, spelled Katy.org. Team up with them today.
Soccer season rolls on here on the Sports Byline Broadcast Network. This is Tyler Levine, host of First Touch, the premier weekly global soccer show across the entire Sports Byline broadcast, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, Simple Radio, and around the world on the American Forces Radio Network. We're talking English Premier League, Champions League, our picks of the week, and a whole lot more. First Touch on Sports Byline USA, Fridays at 5 p.m. Eastern. See you there.
Getting together with friends to watch the game? Then you'll need American Premium Vodka. Handcrafted and pure, this is the one thing all Americans can agree on. Founder Mark Gus Scott chose the finest natural elements America has to offer, and you'll taste how great it is to be an American. Now available at Bevmo, GoPuff, Hy-Vee, and Fairway stores. American Premium Vodka. This is the America we need right now. Go to AmericanPremiumVodka.com. Celebrate responsibly. Every champion has a team behind them, and for thousands of families without insurance, Christ Clinic is that team. At Christ Clinic in Katy, Texas, they provide high-quality, faith-based health care to people who can't afford it, because everyone deserves a shot at health, no matter their income or insurance status. Their doctors, volunteers, their mission, rooted in compassion, their impact, over 10,000 patient visits every year and growing. But they can't do it without help from fans like you. If you ever cheered for a comeback story, this is your chance to be a part of one. Donate today at ChristClinicKaty.org and help them keep the doors open for those who need it most. One gift can be the difference between surviving and thriving. Christ Clinic in Katy, where health meets hope and faith goes to work. That's Christ Clinic Katy, spelled KATY.org. Team up with them today.
Rick Tittle knows his sports. I hate that guy. I love that guy. Oh my gosh, he's so fine. Rick Tittle brings home the bacon, fries it up in a pan, and then he eats it. Ricky T in the hizzle for shizzle, biznatch.
Thank you for that, and welcome back to the show. Rick Tittle with you, coast to coast and around the world on the American Forces Radio Network. Somebody asked me why I posted the picture of Keith Zlomsowich's mugshot. And honestly, there's not a lot of pictures of him that I could post, and it was I guess it was a mugshot, but my apologies to him. If I don't even know if he's offended by that or not, but it's not like one of those mugshots where it's, you know, like drunk Nick Nolte type of a situation. Also, I saw this thing, just whatever your politics, J.D. Vance is telling Olympic athletes to shut up and play sports at the Olympics. And yet, these are, I'm just telling you, these are direct quotes from J.D. Vance about Trump. Trump is America's Hitler. I'm a never Trump guy. I will never vote for Trump because he is a fraud. I cannot stomach Donald Trump. I think he's an idiot. Those are all quotes from J.D. Vance about his exalted ruler now. So you can tell he's a man of integrity. Your wife is fat and ugly. Screw you. You want a job? Okay. So what's the equivalent of shut up and dribble? Shut up and ski? I guess shut up and ski would be the thing. All right, 1-800-878-PLAY is another call. TuneIn app, iHeartRadio app, Stitcher. I'm just telling you facts. I'm not picking sides. At least I don't think I am. I'm just telling you factual statements. Make up your mind. Most people, they don't care. It doesn't matter. And as I said, make up your own mind. 1-800-878-PLAY, Twitch.tv, YouTube streaming along as well, and the Twitter is @Rick Tittle. We'll take a quick break and come on back, everybody.
Why'd I go to the doctor? Working on the farm, my heart kept skipping a beat. I didn't think much of it, but my daughter said me get checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit NoTime28.com. Sponsored by Bristol Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Okay, let's have a little fun. Do you use the expensive blue pill to perform better? Are you thinking about it? So what if we can promise you results for less than $1 a pill? Okay, so these same pills can cost you $30 or more at a pharmacy. And our Better Blue Pill works for less than $1 a pill. You'll save $29 or more per pill. And right now, we'll 120 blue pills for just $99. Have a little fun and call right now. Get 120 of our Better Blue Pills for just $99. Don't overpay for the other blue pills. Call Steel Man Pills right now and get the Better Blue Pill for less than $1 a pill. Call 1-800-BUY-BLUE, 1-800-BUY-BLUE. It's easy to remember. 1-800-BUY-BLUE. That's 1-800-BUY-BLUE. And thanks for calling.
Keep listening for details on how to get up to $300 airline credit. Sky Holidays introduces a one-of-a-kind air credit program. Our buying team got a little too aggressive in getting hotel and air deals, so now we have to liquidate our prices. Here's how. Whether you want to go to Paris, Las Vegas, London, Atlanta, Hawaii, or anywhere else in the world, we have amazing deals. Book a selected hotel and we'll give you up to $300 airline credit. Now you can book your vacation and get a free credit to use towards airline travel. We'll book both airline and hotel with one simple phone call. We have access to most airlines and deals on thousands and thousands of places to stay. Call right now, book your hotel rooms, claim your airline credit. You can change or modify it at any time. 800-256-4816. 800-256-4816. That's 800-256-4816.
This is JD Sharp. I've been developing a revolutionary sports handicapping service, and you can be a part of the beta. Sign up at betus.com with a deposit of as little as $50 and use the promo code SHARPBetting. Email a screenshot of your account to worldwidesharp@gmail.com and I'll reply personally with my plays. My NFL record this season was an industry best 72-33, and this is the only way to know all my plays the moment I make them. Let's keep making money together.
Titillating Sports with Rick Tittle. Rick Tittle is a genius, the best show ever. He's so wonderful, genius, the best show ever. He's so wonderful. Titillating Sports with Rick Tittle. Rick Tittle he's so handsome. He's a genius.
I am so excited to be back on the Rick Tittle Show.
Thank you for that, and welcome back to the show. Rick with you, 1-800-878-PLAY, 1-800-878-7529. Get on in and get heard wherever you might happen to be listening. JD Sharp is is out of commission right now. Don, I'm going to ask you a question because I did not do well with this one whatsoever. While just 2 men have won the past 9 Grand Slam singles championships in tennis, 6 different women since 2023 have won one Grand Slam. 6. I only got 3. Tell me, which is crazy. I used to love women's tennis, but of the last, the 6 different women that have won in the last since 2023 to win a Grand Slam, can you name them?
I know 2 for sure: Iga Swiatek and Aryna Sabalenka.
Yep, those are the ones that have won multiple.
Did Coco Gauff win one?
Yep.
Sorry, I can't hear you when my mic's on. What was that?
Yes. So 3 more.
Okay. Jess Pegula never won one, did she?
No. Good guess.
All I'm gonna get is those 3. I'm not gonna get any. When you say, I'm sure one of them would be like, "Oh yeah," but I'm not gonna pull them.
I think there's only one. Oh yeah, that's Madison Keys.
Yep, there it is.
Okay. I got Madison Keys, Goff, and Sabalenka. I forgot about Swiatek, which is stupid because she has 2. The other 2 names, though, Elena Rybakina, nothing.
Not even oh yeah, that's right.
Barbara Krejcikova.
Nope.
Okay. Thank you. And that's a shame. And it's because they just ain't Merca. And, I mean, that's just the truth. If it was Merca, then maybe it would be a little bit more Merca. 1-800-878-PLAY. You want another question, Don?
Yeah, I'm ready.
This is a little, as the dust settles on the Super Bowl. Cooper Kupp was just the 6th former Super Bowl MVP to play in another Super Bowl with a different team than which he won the MVP. Can you name the other 5?
Tom Brady.
Yep.
Peyton Manning.
Yes.
No, he never did it without the Packers. Hang on.
There was one that was
never made it back.
The first word out of my mouth was one of them.
Was that?
There was one that was very easy for me automatically. The first words out of my mouth were this guy.
Okay, that means it was Jerry Rice number. Tim Brown?
No.
Marcus Allen?
Nope.
Am I on the right track with a Raider?
You started to say his name.
Jerry Rice?
Yes. Super Bowl MVP with the Niners, then played with the Raiders in Super Bowl 37.
Oh, I forgot he was on the Raiders team. I'm like, he played for the Broncos and the Seahawks. He definitely didn't make.
He started. He was Tim Brown and Jerry Rice were the starting wide receiver.
That's right. Okay, let's see. Another player who...
These are all...
Emmitt Smith?
No, they're all pretty recent. 2 more.
I felt like Emmitt Smith could have, but I guess he never won MVP because I think he was on that Cardinals team. No, I don't get it.
Okay. You were close with the Cardinals. Kurt Warner.
Oh, dang.
This is the one that I saw him win the MVP. It's Von Miller, and I forgot he was on the Rams.
That's right.
Yeah, so that one's a little bit of a poopy one too. But this is one of the trivia questions. If they were easy, then forget it. Somebody got me this book written by Ken Jennings. He's the guy that won all the Jeopardies.
He's now the host.
Yeah, and it's a big, thick book, and it's a million trivia questions every day. That will humble you because it's you think you're getting hot, and then it's characters from literature from everywhere in the world, and it's just like I said, it will definitely humble you. But that's what I like about it because a lot of times I think it is it's too easy. All right, 1-800-878-PLAY. If you want to get in. Speaking of the 49ers, today it looks like the Niners are going to be, they have not filed a formal complaint because they probably realize that there's no use to it. But the Niners are going to be the traveling an unprecedented amount of miles this coming year. They're going to be the home team in Mexico City this year. So that's one game at Levi's. And the 49ers, I don't know if you remember last week, announced that they're going to Australia. So the Niners will be the first team ever to play multiple international games, at least in non-consecutive weeks, because the Jags have done back-to-back games in London multiple times. And looks like J.D. Sharp might appear a little bit later this hour. But yeah, the Jags have done that, back-to-back games in London. And then remember, the Vikings, last year, they played in Ireland and then England, and they just stayed over there. And so they crammed those into one trip. But that would not be the case, obviously, for San Francisco, because London and Dublin are pretty close. And Melbourne and the MCG, the Melbourne Cricket Ground, waltzing Matilda, waltzing Matilda. So the Rams are the team they're going to play. The Rams will be the home team in Melbourne, and that's supposed to be week 1. Kind of like what the Chiefs and Packers did in Brazil. So if the 49ers do end up hosting in Mexico City, the math nerds got together 38,100 miles traveled, which is the most in NFL history. And the Rams have chimed in and said that they're going to be at around 35,000 miles. The the all-time is 37,000. So Jed York, the owner, said, for us, Mexico is one of our markets. We will most likely give up a home game this season to play abroad, and Mexico is always number one on my list. Now, there have been 6 games in Mexico City over the last 21 years, and the Niners have played 2 of them. And my buddy, a big Niner fan, went down to that first one years ago. And they played the Cardinals there 4 years ago. But playing in Mexico City wasn't an option the last 3 seasons because they didn't have any games there. But that's going to change once again. And Roger Goodell said, we're heading back to Mexico City in December, which is wonderful for our fans in Mexico. The games will be played at the Estadio Azteca, which is called Estadio Banorte. What a stupid name. What happened to Azteca? Probably sounds like a sponsor. So, look, the Niners still get to play a lot of local games, I guess you would say. But this whole thing about, we got a game in Melbourne, we got 3 in London, we got 1 in Munich, we got 1 in Rio, we got 1 in Madrid, we got 1 in Paris, we got 1 in Mexico City. And I'm all for it. I really am. And if you want to bitch about the miles, then bitch about the miles. I'm Rick Tittle. We'll take a quick break. We will get on back on Sports Byline.
I'm holding in my hand the American Silver Eagle dollar. It's a beautiful piece of American history, and it's 1 ounce of silver. Originally made in 1986, these coins are a beautiful classic piece of American history, and they're a great investment you should add to your portfolio. The beauty of silver is that however much you have available to invest, silver is affordable and easy to acquire, with 1 coin costing around $30. So, if you choose to invest a few thousand in silver, you can get quite a bit for your money. And you'll have a tangible asset that you can hold, one you can be proud to own. Claim your piece of American history with American Silver Eagle dollars. Call the Silver Hotline right now.
800-620-1624. 800-620-1624. 800-620-1624. That's 800-620-1624.
I am a non-attorney spokesperson representing a team of lawyers who help people that have been injured or wronged. If you've been involved in a serious car, truck, or motorcycle accident, or injured at work, you have rights, and you may be entitled to money for your suffering. Don't accept an offer you get from an insurance company until you talk to a lawyer. And we represent some of the best personal injury lawyers you can find. Tough lawyers that will fight to win your case. And they're so good they stake their reputation on it by only getting paid if you win. So if you've been in a serious car, truck, or motorcycle accident or hurt on the job, find out today for free what kind of compensation you may be entitled to. Call the legal helpline right now.
800-401-5163. 800-401-5163. 800-401-5163. That's 800-401-5163.
Do you want to add a boost to your sex life this weekend? Do you want to make your partner and yourself happy? Then call our special hotline now. We'll sell you those little pills that work below the belt for less than $1 a pill and deliver your package in a few days, just in time for the weekend. Our pill delivers almost the same results as expensive pills for less than $1 a piece, and you don't need a prescription. And ask about their buy 3 get 3 free offer. What are you waiting for? Boost your sex life and have a great time now. Less than $1 a pill, discreet delivery in a few days, and a buy 3 get 3 free offer? Dial this number and save it now.
800-245-2751. 800-245-2751. 800-245-2751. That's 800-245-2751. Paid for by the Pharmacy Shop.
You think this is a humorous occasion? You are mistaken.
Take the ride, there's a party over there that ain't no job. It's live, it's all the way live. Don't even have to walk, don't even have to drive. It's slide, slippity slide. Just forget about your troubles and your 9 to 5 and just sail on. That's what you do, just sail on. Now the dude's so funky, hey, what do you think? What is it called? It's called a lakeside stank.
Rick Tittle can usually be found at He Baby Mama House.
Thanks for that, and welcome back to the show. Rick Tittle with you, coast to coast, around the world, American Forces Radio Network. So the hockey is underway. Just talking about last week, Canada was up 3-0 over Czech Republic. USA getting ready to play Latvia. Where is Russia? Where is Belarus? As we used to say, White Russia, right? When I was a kid, it was like, there's White Russia, and then there's the Ukraine, the breadbasket of the Soviet Union. Like what? That's where all the wheat comes from for the Soviet Union, is Ukraine. Well, Russia and Belarus have been banned ever since the invasion of Ukraine. I try to tell people, it's like 49 states invading Texas. It's very weird, but tragic and terrible. But that happened, of course, February 2022, and so they have been banned. And so 2 of the NHL's top scorers, and that would be Nikita Kucherov of the Lightning and Kaprizov of the Wild, they can't play. Like Artemi Panarin, just traded from the Rangers over to the Kings. Yevgeny Malkin with the Penguins. Alex Ovechkin, obviously, all-time leader in goals. They can't play. And it's a shame because they're just athletes. They all live in America, but it doesn't matter. It should matter. It doesn't. So this could be the last Olympic hockey tournament played under these restrictions. They say the ban goes until 2027, which signaled a willingness to reconsider the status of Russian and Belarusian players under 18. So the organizations such as FIFA have also signaled maybe they're ready to lift the restrictions on Russia. But, I mean, because of Russia's absence from these international tournaments, it's prevented the NHL and the Players Association from staging another World Cup of hockey. And the result was that foreign nations face-off that they had last February in Montreal and Boston, which was very successful, so the All-Star game. But, you know, like King Kong versus Godzilla flattening cities before the 2 monsters are thrown down, so are the U.S. and Canada in this men's tournament. They're easily the 2 deepest teams for sure, and they have cup-winning coaches, John Cooper with Canada and Mike Sullivan with Team USA. But when you look at Team Canada and what they have, by the way, only Canada, USA, I think Sweden, entire NHL rosters. But they have one of the greatest center trios in hockey history, if you think about it, because you have Connor McDavid. This is his first Olympics. He has 3 regular season MVPs, 1 postseason, 5 scoring titles. You have Nathan McKinnon, his first Olympics, 40 goals in 55 games. And then you have the 2-time gold medalist, Sidney Crosby, still a point-per-game player at 38. Then you got wingers like Mitch Marner and Mark Stone from Vegas. You got Nick Suzuki from the Habs, Brandon Hagel from the Lightning, Sam Reinhart from the Panthers, good two-way players. You have the Rat King, Brad Marchand, the greatest antagonist. And they're saying, what can you say good about the USA team? And he's like, I live in USA. Another guy went, they have good restaurants. You got Tom Wilson of the Caps, who's also a very controversial checker. You've got the scoring phenom and Mac. You've got Cale Makar. He's third all-time in points for a defenseman already. But for the first time in the NHL's Olympic era, Team USA actually has a pretty good roster. And even we talked about leaving guys like Cole Caulfield and of Montreal and Jason Robertson of the Stars. They didn't even make the team. And Bill Guerin has built this team. I mean, he built the Four Nations team, but you got the Tkachuk brothers, Panthers and Senators, and Matthew and Brady, respectively. And, you think about those 3 fights they had against Canada. Jack Eichel of the Knights, Austin Matthews, born in San Ramon. Great center duo there. Quinn Hughes of the Wild, who sat out Four Nations. Zach Werenski of the Jackets. Jacob Slavin with the Canes, you could argue Jacob Slavin was the best USA player in that tournament. But I would say the best goalkeepers in the tournament. You got Connor Hellebuck, Vezina, okay, NHL MVP, Jets. You got Jake Ottinger with the Stars, and then Jeremy Swayman with the Bruins. Jeremy Swayman is third string. So when could they meet? Because it's split into 3 groups for the qualification round. And the draw does give us the opening round rivalry game between Finland and Sweden, which is pretty cool. And Sweden is consensus third team pick, as I said, the only other team with all NHL players. But think about the Swedes on the blue line. Rasmus Dahlin, Gustav Forsling, Victor Hedman, Rasmus Anderson, EK65, former Shark, 35 years old, still makes things happen. Who's going to score for them? How about William Nylander, Adrian Kempe, Philip Forsberg, Lucas Raymond, Leo Carlson, Mika Zibanejad. It's pretty good. And then if you think about goaltending, you got Philip Gustafsson, probably number 1. I think Jakob Markstrom is a little too inconsistent from New Jersey. And then you got this rookie sensation from Minnesota, Jesper Wallstedt, who actually has better numbers than Gustafsson, just doesn't have the experience. But then if you go back to the World Championships, Finland is the reigning gold medal winner. And they won in Beijing with non-NHL players. And they suffered the tournament's most significant injury when Barkov got hurt, Alexander Barkov of Florida, ACL and MCL. So you still have Sebastian Aho, who I saw play in person with the Canes, Rope Hintz, Anton Lundell, Mikko Rantanen with Dallas, showed in last year's Stanley Cup playoffs he can carry a team on his back. Who else? Miro Heiskanen, Jussi Zaros, the big names. But then spare a thought for Switzerland. Nico Hischier, Timo Meier, who we know out here very well, Kevin Fiala, Nino Niederreiter, Roman Josi, a thorn in the Sharks' side with the Preds, J.J. Moser, Akira Schmidt, and then, of course, I always pull for Germany a little bit. Leon Draisaitl, Moritz Seider, J.J. Paterka, Tim Stützle. We got a pretty good goalie in Philip Grubauer with Seattle. But for the Czech Republic, I mean, you got David Pastrnak, Marcus Nakis, Tomas Hertl. We love Tomas out here. Squirtle, I used to call him. Lucas Dosal, Karaviendje, Dan Vladar from Philly. Slovakia. I guess I didn't know Slavovsky was Slovakian. He's with the Habs. Eric Cernak, Martin February, Simon Nemec. And then my boys from Denmark, Nikolai Ehlers from the Canes, Oliver Borgström from the Lightning, Lars Eller from the Sens, then, of course, Freddie Henderson in between. So, and as I said, Latvia, they've got some guys. They got Treddy Bluger from Vancouver, Zemgus Skirjajan from Tampa Bay, Uvis Baliksisk from Florida. Their goalie is Elvis Merzlikins. He's from Columbus. Artur Silvos of the Penguins. And then because Russia got kicked out, France got in. And there's nobody on France you ever heard of. If I went down their roster, I would just be listing names, which is what you don't want to do. But, you know, there's been a lot of controversy about the pile of slush that was the hockey rink, and there was mud in the Zamboni tunnel, and the Italians don't know what they're doing. And it's kind of like a lot of Olympics where they're like, the paint is drying as you're walking. I think everything is fine right now. All right, let's take a break. We will come on back, and lines are available at 1-800-878-7529.
Are you over the age of 50? Want peace of mind and financial security for your family? Here's an important message to you from Senior Care USA. The average funeral now costs over $10,000. That leaves your loved ones the burden of paying your debts and funeral costs. Our plans start as low as $1 per day and will pay your family up to $30,000 to help pay for your funeral and other expenses. There are no medical exams. Your rates will never increase, and your plan cannot be canceled, regardless of your medical conditions, as long as you make your premium payments. Get up to $30,000 in final expense insurance. Call now for free information. Just answer a few simple questions and get approved right over the phone in just a few minutes. Call right now.
Call 800-399-6879. 800-399-6879. 800-399-6879. That's 800-399-6879.
With MedGuard Alert, you're never alone. You can connect with medical professionals anywhere, anytime. And now MedGuard is introducing our exclusive new Care Watch. If you need help quickly, use it from anywhere to contact medical professionals. No cell phone required. The Care Watch is not only a life-saving medical alert device, it's a revolutionary health monitoring system that checks your blood pressure, heart rate, oxygen saturation, and much more. And here's the best part. If you have Medicaid, you may qualify to get your Care Watch for free. The Care Watch is only available through MedGuard Alert. Call us right now. We have monitoring programs starting as low as $1 a day. The call is free, activation is free, shipping is free, and no contract is required. Remember, with Medicaid, you may qualify to get your Care Watch for free. Call us to get your Care Watch right now.
800-853-8931. 800-853-8931. 800-853-8931. That's 800-853-8931.
Have you suffered sports betting losses? There is someone who wants to fight for you to see you get back what you have lost to those sports betting companies. Michael Watts is a prolific trial lawyer with over $11 billion in total recoveries for his clients. And now with sportsbettingclaim.com, he'd like to help you. Michael has been a leader in some of the largest, most complex cases in the country, from defective cars and tires to damaging drugs and medical products. He has always represented the rights of individuals harmed by large corporations. His efforts recently resulted in the recovery of billions for individuals who lost their properties, fires, carelessly caused by electric companies and others. Michael knows that sports betting companies preyed on and manipulated consumers into losing their life savings, and he wants to make them pay. If you have suffered financial hardship as a result of online sports betting and would like help seeking compensation, please submit your claim information for evaluation at sportsbettingclaim.com. Michael Watts, focused on winning for you. sportsbettingclaim.com.
And by the way, can I just correct that Rick Tittle is one of the great names of all time.
be getting your granny panties all in a bunch. We got Rick up in here.
All right, thanks for that, and welcome back to the show. Rick Tittle with you coast to coast and around the world on the American Forces Radio Network. It's our pleasure to welcome to the show J.D. Sharp from Pro Wagering, professional and successful prognosticator, and this is why we get his expertise and his insights. And J.D., just to kind of start with a side, now that the Super Bowl dust has settled, and the next thing we'll have, of course, will be pro days and combines and things like that. There's going to be no football for a while, so we turn our attention, outside of soccer and the Olympics, maybe, to the indoor sports in the United States, being the NHL and the NBA, and of course the NHL is a Olympic break. So, do you and the people that you work for, do you take a break, or do you start grinding on hoop games right now?
Well, I mean, I'm an all year, all sport type of guy. So I do NHL, I do NFL, I do college football, I do NBA, I do college basketball, and I do Major League Baseball. I do a little bit of golf, not much, and I do a little bit of MMA as well. And I'm starting to look into soccer and cricket a little bit, but again, there's just so much going on when you do that. Although I think I could do pretty well with soccer. I just haven't really taken the time. But yeah, I mean, I'm very entrenched in basketball right now. Like I'm very involved in the NBA. I'm very involved in college hoops, especially. Actually, probably college hoops more than the NBA because there's so many teams. And the NBA, with all the different trades that are taking place, all these players are moving from team to team on a consistent basis. You have guys like Victor Wembanyama, who 2 days ago had the first 37 and 8 game, first half in the history of the NBA. I went out the history since 1993, and I mean it's a very different product now than it used to be, and it really heats up. It really heats up towards obviously during the playoff season, but there's still some opportunities I think now, because in any sport, Rick, you're always going to have a team that is perceived as not good, right? Perception is so important in sports betting, and I've said this times on the show. But they're not perceived as a premium team, right? The franchise doesn't have real accolades. They don't make the playoffs very often. They don't have any rings. They're kind of known as being like a joke franchise, right? Like the Charlotte Hornets, for example, who probably 2 weeks ago, a video went viral of LaMelo Ball and Moussa Diabate basically flirting with each other, and it went really viral on X. LaMelo was basically hitting Moussa's hand away and basically going stop it, and it was a very, very interesting thing. I'm sure. I mean, there's a whole video. There's a whole video. It's pretty crazy. Well, then the Hornets, but since then the Hornets have won 10 of 11. And Con Kneppel, who we talked about last year, I thought Kneppel had one of the sweetest strokes I'd ever seen in my life, and I still stand by that. But him, Brandon Miller, LaMelo Ball, Miles Bridges, that team is starting to play really well. And so that's an example of a team that everyone thinks is a joke, but fundamentally they're actually a pretty good team because it's just a different year. The teams change. The teams change as the years go on, right? But the perception of the team doesn't change. And for some reason, Vegas always lags behind in that. The same thing could be the Detroit Pistons. The Detroit Pistons are constantly never giving any credit by the books because of the Detroit Pistons. Well, the reality is the Pistons have a top 5 defense, a top 10 offense, and probably a top 6 or 7 roster, and a pretty dang good head coach. So I try to take advantage of those. And this happens in every single sport. It's not just the NBA. It's also the NFL. It's Major League Baseball. 3 or 4 years ago, when that Rays team went on that big stretch, nobody gave them any credit. I think the same thing could be applied to the Seahawks and the NFL this year. The Bears this year, nobody gave them any credit. So there was a lot of money to be made. Just when you realize that just because a team is perceived as not being good, or not being elite, or not having a giant fan base, whatever it is, right? Maybe the headlines are going against that, whatever it is. There's value there if that team is actually good. And so I noticed that every single year in every single sport. And I would say the same thing kind of applies to that Duke team last year because Cooper Flagg was white. And people don't think that white basketball players are that good. Well, that Duke team destroyed pretty much everybody all year. They constantly covered every single game all year long, but their two key players were a white Cooper Flagg and a white Colin Ethel. And now both those guys are obviously doing exceptionally well in the National Basketball Association. But those are the kind of things. Or like, for example, this year, the Nebraska Cornhuskers in college basketball, their record is 20-3, I believe. They lost to Michigan by 2. They lost to Purdue by 2 or 3, and they lost to Illinois by like 11. Illinois is actually a very good team. But if you look at the lines from week 10 from game 10 to 20, they were 10-0, the books gave them no credit at all. Why? Because they're the Nebraska Cornhuskers, and the Nebraska Cornhusker basketball team just isn't perceived as a very good team. So those are things that I look for and take advantage of. And I recommend that everybody do the same thing that I do. Nobody really talks about it. Everyone talks about the premium squads, the premium players. No, there's a lot of really good teams that don't have superstar players, that play well, that have revamped rosters, that are meshing as a team. And the books do not pick up on that for sometimes they're a full season behind. And so that's what I look for. And the same thing I would say, the same thing kind of applies to the Anaheim Ducks this year in the NHL. The Ducks have Leo Carlson. They have some pretty good players that consistently score goals, but they don't have like a Bedard, right? They don't have an Austin Matthews. They don't have champion. I mean, they do have some playoffs 25 years ago, but they're another team that on paper they're actually pretty good, even though they're the Anaheim, they're the Ducks. They're that gag team from that movie from 1995, right? So those are the type of things that I look for, Rick.
You might be onto something here, because hear me out. St. Mary's, my school that I graduated from, 22-4, 5 white guys, unranked.
Yep. Absolutely.
How can we not even get the top 25 and we have a pedigree in March Madness? Is it because it's 5 dopey white guys?
I mean, that's kind of generally how it is, yeah. I mean, there's perception is everything. Now, what was the score of the Gonzaga game, the first one?
I don't remember, honestly.
I think you beat them. Did you beat them?
I want to say 1-1 and then got crushed going back up to Spokane.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, now Mary does get received in conference. They were just a 24.5 point 2 days ago.
Yeah, they crushed Pepperdine, who's a joke. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But in conference, they still get credit. That's one of the reasons why I do like professional sports with this, because conference, it doesn't division, it doesn't make a difference. There is perception, like either there's one perception or not. Whereas, like with college basketball, because you have a team like St. Mary's, which on a national scale, you're going to get, you'll probably get good value on the future side with St. Mary's right now, obviously, right? But in conference, you're not going to get any value with them whatsoever because they're known as a dominant team, one of 2 dominant teams inside that conference.
All right, let me ask you one more thing before I let you go. Because when I was doing the Radio Row Super Bowl, I was talking to a woman who was a Michigan alum who basically guaranteed that the Wolverines were going to win the thing. Now, Arizona would have something to say about that, and I know Kansas gave a little shock to Arizona the other day, but as it stands right now, I mean, you got UConn, Iowa State, Duke, Houston, Michigan, Arizona. Who, if you had to throw a future down here as we get closer to March, who would be the one you think, as of today, would be your national champ?
I think she's right. I think Michigan, they've got 3 5-stars at guard. They go 9 deep. They've got 7'3" Ade Mara. He's an NBA guy. They've got Merez Johnson. He's a banger inside. They've got off the bench. They've got Kaysen. They've got Trey McKinney, the freshman. That's a pretty impressive team. I like Dusty May. He did really well with that FAU team. Remember that? He took to the Final Four twice in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I agree with her. I think that they're the toughest team. They're the biggest team. They're the deepest team. They've got a great coach. And to me, the table is for them to do really well. Now that being said, Arizona has a ton of talent. The problem is they don't have any, like, they're freshmen. Braden Burks is really good, but he's a guard, going to take them all the way. Chris is good inside. I like Pete. They have some depth. I mean, Arizona's very good. I'm not going to say that. That would be a pretty tough game for Michigan. I think that match is not great for them. I still like Purdue as well. I think Purdue is the most explosive offense in college basketball, and they're actually really good against the three this year, believe it or not, which is why Nebraska. Duke obviously is going to have something to say for it. Cameron Booker can really play. He's going to be a top three pick. I don't think much is going to happen with BYU. I would say, I mean, the SEC, Florida's fine, Tennessee's fine, Alabama's fine.
Can I throw something at you real quick? I just want to get your opinion.
Yeah, sure.
All right, in the MAC,
Sure.
Miami of Ohio, undefeated, best offense in the country, 93 points a game. Should we start taking them seriously?
Yeah, I think you should take them seriously, and you should take St. Louis seriously. St. Louis
The
has that
Billikens.
Robbie Avila kid. Yeah, the Billikens. The Billikens can play. They go like 8 or 9 deep. They've got Robbie Avila, who, if you remember, what did they call him? They called him like Vanilla Kareem or something like that is what they called him, because he's like 6'11", like 260, but he wears this, like, he's got a very, very old school throwback game. He passes well. He wears this big headband. Yeah, like guys like him are like those guys are those are the type of guys that are going to do really well in the tournament. But I think St. Louis is a team to watch. Miami of Ohio is a team to watch. But if I had to guess right now, just based on what I've seen so far, yeah, I would say that your Michigan alum is probably not too far off, because that team is stacked. They're deep, and they just have a lot of talent. Like they have a lot of really good players on their team.
Always love talking sports with J.D. Sharp from Pro Wagering. Great stuff, man. Thank you.
Hey, thanks a lot, Rick. Have a good one, man.
All right, I'm Rick Tittle. Come on back on Sports Byline USA.
Who's watching? Tell me who's watching? Who's watching me? I always feel like somebody's watching me, and I have no privacy. I always feel like somebody's watching me. Or is it just a dream? When I come home at night, I roll the door.
If you're serious about investing in gold or silver, Allegiance Gold will give you an additional $5,000 in free gold to add to your portfolio. They can help you buy any amount of gold or silver, even roll over your current IRA into gold. They've helped thousands invest millions in gold over the years, with prices that are some of the best in the industry, with fees that are fair, reasonable, and transparent. Protect your wealth with gold. Save on your gold or silver pricing when you buy from the top-rated Allegiance Gold. Invest in gold or silver today by calling Allegiance for your free gold guide, and learn about the $5,000 free gold offer with qualified purchase. Call now.
800-413-1937. 800-413-1937. 800-413-1937. That's 800-413-1937. Hey, airline travelers, let's say you have a problem and you need to change or cancel an existing airline reservation. What do? Well, Skywatch is a free service that can help anyone with any airline reservation fix it. Whether you want to cancel it, change your dates, or add passengers, we can help fix your airline reservations so you get exactly what you need. We've updated our computer database and have access to every airline around the globe. So now you can make one phone call, regardless of who booked your airline tickets, and we'll change it, cancel it, and fix it for you. We know the insider secrets to fixing reservations that the airlines don't want you to know about. So if you need to cancel, change, or modify an existing airline reservation, call right now. It's a free call, so let us fix it for you. 855-325-5647. 855-325-5647. 855-325-5647. That's 855-325-5647.
Special alert for consumers struggling to pay taxes. There are new tax regulations, not published yet. We have the inside track on new tax savings. Programs designed to help struggling taxpayers like you. COVID relief programs are gone, but there are new programs to help struggling taxpayers, and we have the inside track. Call now, and we'll take you through these new programs. These taxpayer savings programs have never been available until now. Get out of tax trouble now. It doesn't take weeks. It can happen in one phone call. Call now and get the inside track to get rid of your tax problems.
Call the tax helpline now. 800-949-0039. 800-949-0039. 800-949-0039. That's 800-949-0039.
Resistance to mind reprogramming will be exterminated for the good of the state.
What kind of government you guys got here? This is worse than California.
This is the only sports talk show that features a Rhodes Scholar, but he ain't here today. Now, back to Rick Tittle.
All right, thank you for that. And a lot of, personal relationship stuff is going down at the Olympics because we already have that poor guy basically falling on his sword for his girlfriend if she would take him back. Well, this is a little bit of a better story. We know Breezy Johnson. She was the first American gold in these Olympics, and she did an amazing job in the downhill. And she was not the big time.